And we are live. Yes,
we're live.
I know.
Ooh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Zombie Chris's sporadic live stream.
Hey.
We really have a title for these. Welcome back to whoever is watching, who's ever listening. Hello. We got the chat going. What's up? TR
Hello,
Gamer.
chat.
Hello. Hello. Well,
Sorry,
you already know who
late.
I am. I am Zombie Chris. Obviously, that's why you kind of came to the channel. So I'll pass it along to my guest hosts so they can kind of plug their channels in case you guys do not know who they are. Let's go with Connor first.
Hi, I'm Connor. I make vlogs, and my link is in the description, as I can see here. Also, Zach's link is in the description, but Zach is not here. But you should check his channel out anyway. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Mike. All right, I'm gonna pass the torch now to the reason we're late, Mr. Tim.
Throwing him under the bus.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to blame Brady, and I don't care. Well, I guess Brady's not here tonight because he's at a competition, so I am filling in for around Orlando vlogs. So if you know Brady, I'm usually with him because he needs a ride, he needs money.
Oh, he needs a lot of money.
Whatever it may be. Yeah, every time he opens his mouth, I see dollar bills come out. So, but you probably all know. But you guys know me on Twitter as FloggingFrog23. So now to that last guy.
Yeah,
there's one last guy.
Hello, everybody. It's Jason. I do not have a YouTube channel to plug at this point, but we will be asking for suggestions on a channel name if I don't go with my Bullet 347. But we'll see in the future. I did vlog this last trip down to Orlando during HHN. I just have not put the footage together yet. So, hello, everybody.
all right. I'm looking forward to your vlogs, Jason. And just for the record, hopefully everyone in this chat, when Jason has a channel, will be his first batch of subscribers, right?
Yes, hopefully. Everybody in the chat, suggest a name for his channel.
Yes, yeah. He needs name suggestions.
And I've been heard, nothing with Disney. Or...
it can't be overwhelmingly one topic because you vlog both parks, right?
Yes. Yeah. We took our daughter for the first time to Disney, and I saw one captured a lot of that. So
that's great. That's going to be great to see.
First moment at Disney.
It's the same way as a parent. I just spent cash, and every time she wanted something, it was like. Was
it her first face paint?
I was going to ask how many face paints were there in total?
They're $20 a pop, pretty much average, and we did about 5 or 6 of them.
Oof.
So.
Woo!
Yeah,
man,
that's a lot of face paint.
They should give you like a punch card or some kind of rewards card or something for that.
No, next trip will be.
I'll get one free.
I'll be doing it myself in the morning. My kid will scare everyone. But
well,
hey,
at least
awesome.
Your kid, you get like a $20 face paint. But as they grow older, the tastes get more expensive, right, Tim?
Yes, cameras, computers,
guitars,
microphones, guitars, amps, you name it.
You're throwing Brady under the bus, man.
I'm not. I love that kid.
Oh, not you. I'm talking about Connor.
Oh, Connor.
Yeah, maybe. I like. Hey, look. Brady's my boy, and that's why I take shots at him sometimes.
Yeah, and he's not here to defend himself tonight, so fair game.
Yep.
Just want to take a live survey from the chat. Can everybody hear us? Is it working? I'm reading a few people saying it's not working. It's working for me when I go to the actual live. It seems like they can hear us. Is it working for everybody else in the chat? Anybody?
It's
Seems
only
to
that
be.
English dude.
Yeah,
Well,
that
it's
English dude.
and Gary as well. That English dude.
I mean that Florida guy.
Yeah.
Hi, Gary.
Everybody else looks like they're saying they can
Virtually.
hear us and
Oh,
it's working. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So, for first up, last weekend I got to go back to Hollow Scream for my second visit, and nobody in the chat has anybody in the chat been to Hollow Scream, as well as the guest, Tim? No.
no,
Connor?
I have not.
No. Jason?
I have not.
No, I'm a no on that one as well.
Man, you guys are missing out on a fun time, man.
But
So we hear.
Tampa, driving,
Yes.
money.
Yes. Well, it's only it's like an hour out from Orlando. Like an hour, what? Hour and 10? Hour and 15?
Well, for me, it takes like about an hour and a half, but like it's kind of a crapshoot because you never know what I-4 is going to be like.
That's
So
true.
you probably want to bet on 2 hours.
Unless you
it's a
leave
solid
like
2-hour
early in
trip
the
for me
day.
too.
By the way, this is my very first live chat. Why am I reading it?
Yeah, dude.
So, like,
Nice.
if a person out of town, for like me, if I wanted to come and go to that, the night event, their Halloween event,
Yeah.
what time do you have to leave Orlando?
We left like 1 o'clock, but then we stopped somewhere. We got food, and then we went to like downtown Tampa, and then we went to the event because our ticket let us in like 5:30. So like you can probably leave like maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, because it's not like too bad once you get to Tampa. Like once you get like, I guess, off the exit and you're like driving towards Busch Gardens, it's not too bad. It's just more the drive on I-4.
Okay, so it's that bad. Like I-4, if you leave Orlando around 2 or 3, it's still that bad. I-4.
Well, it's like an hour and 10 minutes away from Orlando.
Gotcha.
So you would want to like add that in, plus getting there, parking, all the pre stuff that you got to do. And
Gotcha.
So does House Scream have like rides open or no?
yes, they actually do have the roller coasters. Only certain roller coasters are open during the actual event. Let's see. They have Kumba's open, Falcon's Fury is open, the Sand Serpent, Shikra is open, Cheetah Hunt, Cobra Curse, and Montu are all open.
Oh, good. Montu's awesome.
In the dark, might I add. So they're like pitch dark.
Ooh.
And some of them actually have zombies and stuff on the ride, like with you.
Oh yeah, I think I actually did hear about that. Now that I think of it.
What up? What up? Awkward Arsig. What's up, buddy?
And Gary got it to work. So what up,
Hey,
Gary?
What's up, chat? You guys
TSG.
have any-
Do you guys have
Or
any
TFG.
coupons? Nope.
But
I was gonna say I do actually.
oh, you do.
Hey, we got room service from Sapphire Falls, and after we spent $80, I took the ketchup. I took everything, including the grape
I don't blame you.
Seriously.
Believe hugs. Well, then we tipped the guy, cash, and then I looked down on there, and there was a 22% built into my.
So you're like, yeah, that Grey Poupon, all of it's coming home.
I almost took the plate and
Let me take this coffee machine as well.
So Chris, how many? I mean, obviously it's not as big as HHN, but like how many houses are
It is
at House Scream?
It is 7 haunted houses. Now, if you guys don't know anything about Hollow
Oh, wow.
Scream, what they do is they will sort of redo houses every year. So there's like a basic like 5 of them that kind of stay in rotation, and they will basically like change out some of the scenes every year. And then once a house reaches like 4 or 5 years, then they pretty much, break it down and then build a brand new house. So it's kind of cool because you can relive the houses, and maybe see some new stuff added. But, it kind of sucks because you only get like 2 new houses or 3 new houses a year. So it's kind of tricky, but to us, it's good in a way because you can go like maybe every other year or every 2 years. You don't have to go like every single year,
Right.
like Horror Nights.
So there's
it's
pros
good
and
in
cons.
that way. Yeah, there's pros and cons. I mean, Hollow Scream is a very, very affordable event. Like, I mean, for the price of what you pay at Halloween Horror Nights, you can be treated like a king at Hollow Scream. I mean, you can have like the dinner, which is the Fright Feast. So it's a buffet meal. You get like you get to see the show, the Joshua Seth show first, and you get 1 hour of front of the line, which is their express. You get 1 hour of that, so you can just go around and knock as many houses as you want to. And the front of the line pass is only $35. So comparison to like our express for Horror Nights being probably what, like 60, 70, 80.
Too much for me to consider.
Yeah, something like that.
For Express, yeah, it depends on the night.
And they actually have something you guys would love. Well, some of you guys out there. It's called a sampler lanyard for $30. You get your choice of 5 or 10 samples of food, beer, shots, or wine. So that's something like Horror Nights should look into, something, since they have so many different like snacks and drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. Sort of like a meal plan, but for Horror Nights. That would be kind of interesting.
True. So, like, what would you say are like the best attractions over there at Hallow Scream this year?
Oh, the haunted houses?
Yeah.
Let's see. Motel Hell was very, very good. That's one of their standout houses. You can tell like they put the money into this house. It was there last year was the first time. But obviously I skipped last year, so this was my first time going into it. It was very, very good. Deathwater Bayou, really, really great house. Comparison to our Halloween Horror Nights Deadwater's house. Like they're kind of similar because they're both, deal with the bayou in New Orleans, but different in many different ways. Like they have bungee scares at Hollow Scream, and you'll see this in my review coming out this week, should be. The bungee scares at Hollow Scream are fantastic. Like there's nothing like what we have in The Fallen. Like The Fallen feels like a knockoff, like a cheap knockoff comparison.
Whoa.
Because Hollow Scream, what they do is they hide the actors, so they're like in pitch dark, so you do not see them until they bungee out of the darkness.
Oh
And they're
my
like,
goodness.
Oh, I'm in. Let's do it.
it makes you like drop. Like every time we saw a bungee, like in any of the houses, and they even have them in the scare zones as well, we would like drop, and then we'd be like bungee.
You know what I would be like? Screaming. Just screaming.
Running, hiding.
And,
cowering.
And new for this year, they had 2 new haunted houses added. They have Demented Dimensions, which is a very weird, interesting house. It's sort of like you're going through these like dimensions, basically like through a house. So like you would come into a room and half of the room would be normal, but you would see like this sort of like a, I don't know, like sort of like a burn mark of where the dimension splits the room. And you would see like the other side of the room being like, monsters or like aliens or weird stuff. So that was a really cool house. That's one other, obviously, houses they put money into. Then they have Undead Arena Live, which is one of the most interesting concepts I've ever seen for a house, because when you walk in, it instantly splits. Like there's 3 doors basically, and whatever your group is, they sort of just send you. So it was three of us. So the guy was like, go to the right. And it was just us three going through like 90% of the maze by ourselves. So it's really
Wow.
cool. Like the house itself, you know, is just kind of random stuff. But the idea of like you kind of like breaking off and being on your own, it was really interesting.
What's the footprint of Busch Gardens, like size-wise, than the houses?
That's the only like complaint I think I can have is that it feels like you're walking like a lot to get to places. Like the houses, they're so spread out throughout the whole entire like Busch Gardens, and Busch Gardens is a very, very big like daytime park. So at night, when you add in all the people and then like the houses being like spread out, it feels much worse. It feels like you're walking almost 3 times of what you would walk at Horror Nights just to get to like certain houses.
Do they have sound stages for the houses, or are they used to the tent?
Most of them are like makeshift. Like some of them are like smaller like sound stages. I wouldn't call them sound stages. They're more just like smaller buildings, but not to like the degree of a sound stage. And some of them are kind of like tents. Like you can kind of tell that you can't tell the quality wise, but you can tell like if you look up, you'd be like, oh, this is, you know, I'm in a tent. But they do a good job of, you know, building it to where you can't really tell.
Right.
But yeah, I was gonna say Universal. I mean, some of those, like, what is it, Scarecrow? I can't believe that's in a tent. I mean,
Yeah, it's like, how do they cram all of that in there?
exactly.
And I'll just briefly talk about the scare zones real quick. I'm not going to cover Fiends because, I mean, Fiends is just something you have to see to believe. It's that bad. Like it is like I'm not too big of a fan of Bill and Ted, but Fiends is like, wow. Like you would go back to the show because it's that bad.
Oh my goodness.
Like you'll see some of it in the video, or if you don't see it in all of my video, go check out other videos and just watch the whole show and you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. Other than the nurses, that's the only plus. But there's only 4 nurses in the entire show, so.
Oh.
Connor's upset now.
I know. Well, there's 2 male nurses if you enjoy that out there, whoever's in the chat.
Wow.
So this year there are 5 scare zones that they have. They have Wasteland, Playground, Carney Camp, Meat Market, and Class Deceased. But the thing about Hollow Scream that's really, really interesting is they don't have a parade to deal with. So they build scare zones that are actual like set in stone scare zones. And they're very like different in a way. Like how at Horror Nights, the actors sort of just scream, or they just basically scare you. The ones at Hollow Scream, they talk, they interact with you, they'll say stuff, they'll follow you, they even have sliders too, which is something you'll never see at Horror Nights. And if you do not know what a slider is, it's basically a monster who has the ability to run and then slide towards you on the ground, or also make sparks with his shoes or knees at you, causing you
They have
to
like shin
basically
guards,
jump.
don't they, Chris?
Yes. If you've never seen them, Knott's has them out in California. They're very, very popular. But yes, they will make you jump every time if they come running at you. Wasteland was a really cool, like, apocalyptic zone. I have some good video of that to show in the review. One of the actors, he has like this weird whistling like air fan thing, like with his mouth. It's hard to explain it, but he comes up and he sort of does this like thing with his mouth, and it blows like this cannon of air like right at your face. It's weird, but it was scaring everybody. Carney Camp had like the bungee jump. It had some of the clowns. It was really good. But one thing to touch upon is that they do roaming hordes, but the roaming hordes are so good there because they do change and rotate so much that you never know where they are. Like they're not listed on the map, so you don't know where they're going to be. You're just walking, and then you're like, oh, there's a random like horde here, like, oh, there's clowns, or oh, it's like demons. Okay, so they do a really good job of like rotating that. You almost never see the same people in the same location throughout the night.
That sounds fun. Tim
I
and
highly
Connor.
recommend to go.
I was gonna say Tim and Connor need to get down there. Over there.
That's right.
Yeah, and all that free time I have going on right now.
And no, I don't think this is going to be the last year. That rumor flies up every single year about it being the last year.
Really?
I don't think so.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, every year there's a rumor like, oh, this might be the last year. If it was the last year, Busch Gardens would actually advertise that to get more people to probably come.
I was gonna say I
agree.
think they had a pretty solid year because it seemed like they were social media wise. When Universal was a little lacking on their tweets and their announcements, there was definitely some shade being thrown, which was, it was all good fun, but to me, it was a lot of fun to kind of watch them take advantage of the, quietness.
That's a good point that you bring up, because yesterday, and if you guys don't follow Hollow Scream on Instagram, they do live streams pretty much every night of the event, either live streams or they do like Instagram stories throughout like the park. And on Friday the 13th, they were pretty much driving around Tampa. They have an actual guy that runs the social media named Ben. There's an actual face behind it, unlike Horror Nights where we do not know who's tweeting stuff half of the time. Their guy is named Ben, and he always chit chats with the fans all the time. He was going around giving away prizes and tickets all around Tampa on Friday the 13th. Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
That was really cool of them. You can tell like the social media there is just drastically different. Like they have a face behind it, and they're always updating and talking to all the fans. Horror Nights tried to do that a little bit towards the end,
But has it been this way? I didn't follow Hollow Scream the years before, but were they as interactive? Because
I would say they've started it recently, probably within like the last 2 years, maybe 3 years. They've started sort of being a little bit more on social media.
Gotcha.
Yep. That is enough with the Hollow Scream talk. We have everybody here on the panel has went to Halloween Horror Nights. So we shall switch over to that.
All right.
As Tim grunts. How about those pizza fries?
I've had one bite.
Go ahead, Connor.
I've had one bite of pizza fries from my boy Mike the Filmer. Shout out. Yeah, they were pretty decent, but I'd never pay $10 for them because I'm cheap.
Anybody else have them? I have.
Yes, I've had a bite of them too, and I just didn't think they were worth the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I actually make my apology right now for this next comment. So.
Oh.
So no. I already tweeted it out, but I gave Blumhouse so much crap that first weekend, just saying it was such a terrible house. It has definitely moved up my list. When we were there, a few weeks ago, and Mizak and I think it was Zombie Chris and April, we all ran that twice in a row with nobody in front of us and nobody behind us. And all I have to say is, wow, because I think we hit every scare in there. And we've done so many houses with Zach already so far. I've never seen him jump from one side to the other like I did in that house on that second run of that night. So kudos to Blumhouse, who have definitely picked it up. And if you haven't seen, it looks like they are finally using the projectors.
Yes.
On the front of the house there, which is really, really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I did it one time so far with the Stay and Scream. And yeah, I was pretty terrified. The only house that I think scared me more was Scarecrow, to be honest. I mean, it was a scary house. Ugh, Scarecrow. You oof.
Yeah.
Trauma, man. Trauma.
Nightmares.
Our experience was pretty much the same with that house. If I remember right, the first part of it, I don't know, it has a great ending. The back half of it, to me, it was the best, if I'm remembering correctly.
Which one? The Blumhouse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. At the end, it's just like nonstop. Like
I really don't think they should have had Purge in that house. I think they should have just yanked that out.
It was like
let's
useless.
extend the
To
Insidious part.
No, they should.
I think that would have been much better.
I think they should have given it to Sinister.
Oh yeah, right. It should have been like equal parts. Yeah.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry, Sinister. Yeah, Sinister.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Insidious, I mean, pretty much rules that house.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Who's talking? Connor.
Don't worry, I know the.
Oh, okay, good.
I will
But it's true though. I mean,
Connor did a great job through the house. I physically felt him shaking, though. I will say that. Wait,
Yeah.
You physically felt him shaking because he was behind you or in front of you?
I can't remember. We went through a couple houses together, but I remember he was, and I remember. I think we did Ash vs. Evil Dead, the very first one.
We did that one together, just you and me. But we did like a bunch of houses together, like overall.
Yeah, I can't remember if I was in front or behind, but
no.
I just.
So in Scarecrow, you were right behind me.
Okay.
And you had like your hand on my shoulder, and that's how you were feeling me shaking. And but you could tell the difference, like when you go into Ash, you know, like Ash, I just walk and I'm like, oh, yeah, Ash. But Scarecrow, it's like a different animal.
Those are two way different houses because
there's probably
Ash vs. Evil Dead is more just fun. It's like that's
really
just a fun house.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did you get scared in that house, Connor?
What, in Ash?
Yeah.
The first time I ran it, I got like a couple startles just because like the timing. But I wouldn't say I was like scared. And then the second time I ran it, I didn't get scared like at all. I just walked right through it.
You were just looking around like, oh, there's some nails. Oh, that's how they did that.
Yeah.
Pro now.
Checking out the costumes, you know. Yeah, that's a nice alien zombie thing.
Every time I do that, like pay attention to, you know, the sets or the scenery or the costumes, somebody else is getting me from the other side.
Exactly.
You know what my favorite example of that is from this year so far? We were in Saw. We were in Saw, and this is the only time I've run Saw because, quite frankly, it sucks. But
ouch!
Listen. When I do my final rankings, I will say that like houses 1 through 8, well, actually houses 1 through 7, I really enjoy a lot. Number 8 is all right, and number 9 is the only one that I don't like. And
Let me
so
guess, Saw.
Obviously Saw, but no, but I'm walking through Saw, and I get scared on the right, jump to the left, and I look up, and freaking pig like right in my face. That
like
was
the
not
3
fun.
little pigs or the actual pig?
Oh, it was definitely the actual pig.
I was gonna say, like, I remember last year in Krampus, at certain points, if you looked up, you can see like where you were in the Shrek like queue and some of the theater part. I'm not sure in Saw if you can look up and see certain parts of the Shrek queue line.
You could. It wasn't covered.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you can look up and see like the 3 little pigs, or maybe
I don't know about that exactly, but I know it doesn't have a ceiling on it.
Oh, I only went through Saw once, which is like the only thing I'm kind of griping about because it's always sort of a long line. It's like
Mhm.
medium,
Yes.
like length, and I'm always like, yeah, I don't want to wait like 40 minutes or 50 minutes.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
it's funny
Agreed.
because Krampus usually had like a low weight, like towards like the
we used to
end of the night, it would drop down.
Oh,
But
yeah.
for some reason, Saw just keeps them sort of in.
Oh, there.
Krampus, we used to run at least 3-4 times a night.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's just a difference in the property.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
and
definitely.
wait till the Saw movie actually comes out.
Yeah, the Jigsaw movie,
Yeah,
which is due out, I believe, next week,
I think it's the
or is it Halloween?
27th. I think it's the
27th.
27th.
Okay.
27th,
correct.
yes.
So
Ooh.
those last couple weeks, I mean, I think Saw will have decently high weights for the people that go see the movie. They'll be like, I want to go see the house because I saw the movie,
Yeah.
you know?
Or they might run an advertisement of like you survived the movie or see part of the movie in the
Mhm.
house or something.
Well,
Mhm.
I think American Horror Story last year took so much of the lines from, the majority of the house. It was everybody just loved it. And so this year you didn't see that as much.
Yeah, I don't know why is it such a drop off this year, or people like, oh yeah, they did it last year, like, or people thinking it's the same, or I'm not sure.
Well, do
I'm
you
not
remember
big. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you remember the wait times last year for American Horror Story? I mean, there were nights where it was like 200 minutes long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oof.
Like,
and
no,
maybe
I'm
it's
good.
because of the seasons. I'm not a big American Horror Story fan. But
yeah, you're right. It was just right after
the Carnival one, right?
Hotel.
Or no, Hotel, yeah.
Was Hotel? I thought Freak Show was
Hotel.
the very last one.
No, I think
No,
it was
Hotel
Hotel.
was.
Oh, okay. Whoops, I
And
skipped
then,
over that
and
season.
then Roanoke, obviously. So,
Yeah,
and now the new one.
Yeah, I haven't really seen American Horror Story or anything. So like when I was going through the house this year, it was just kind of a bunch of like random stuff to me.
I wish you went last year. I felt last year was just overall a better house. Not that this house is bad, but I felt like they had it right the first time.
The main reason why I wish I could have swung last year was for Krampus, but and you can actually I don't know if Brady will back me up because he's Brady. He might try to be like, no, you didn't. But I actually did try to.
Hold on, do that Brady impression again.
Yeah, what's that voice again?
He'll be like, no, you didn't. No. When I like met Brady and everything, and we would chat, he was telling me like, yeah, it's really cool, blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I've never been, blah blah blah. And I actually did try to swing a one-day ticket last year. I did try, but I couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, you weren't a Universal pass holder yet because you would have your free. Okay.
I wasn't a pass holder, and I just didn't have enough time. Like when he's like tried convincing me to go and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't really have.
And see, now you're kicking yourself for not going.
Like.
Well, I mean,
not too bad, you know. It's like there's not a whole lot I can do about that, but I'm just glad I decided to go this year. I mean, that's really what matters, I guess. But I would have liked to experience Krampus. I will say that.
Overall, this year, I felt, I don't know what it is. The only thing I put my finger on maybe is the overall sound of HHN. Like when you come in the gate, it just didn't feel right to me. Now the houses were hands down great. Scare zones weren't, there were some decent ones, but I don't know, maybe it was just the overall music or lighting.
Not to backtrack to Hollow Scream, but that is one thing that I noticed when we were walking around there was the way the soundtrack is handled for their event. It's all like Skrillex and techno like music, but it kind of works in ways because it kind of keeps you energized and it kind of fits like the high energy of the zones and stuff. I mean, like, and when you walked in some of the zones, they had their own soundtrack, but the rest of the park like had this Skrillex techno like upbeat energy played throughout the park. So you felt like like you were just like, yeah, I'm amped up to go into the next house, because we
Yeah.
all know
I-
Connor loves the music that's played this year.
I do.
especially in that one zone.
You know what
But I don't
the
think it's the
song?
music.
What's the song that we hear every time?
Send me an angel. Okay. Here, let me. Okay, I want to bounce off what Gary's saying in the chat. Now, this event feels like awesome to me, but that's because I have nothing to compare it to.
Boo.
I think one reason why this year may not feel the same, and by the way, I've actually seen a bunch of people saying that on Twitter.
Oh, interesting.
And what I've thought of in my own head is when you first walk into the event this year, you meet like one of the worst scare zones ever. That's like the first thing you see. And like you said, there's no atmosphere, right? There's not really atmosphere. HHN 26 did have that that icon, it had an icon. And when you first walk into the event, the first scare zone is the icon scare zone.
Mm-hmm.
So you're instantly met with like the face of the event. Whereas this year you walk in and it's like assorted selfie opportunities. You know what I mean? Like I could definitely I definitely see what you're saying there. That's what I think could be it. And I think having an icon overall helps the vibe of the event. Like
100%.
I would assume. Oh, hi Sean.
So, what's up, Sean?
Sean.
So, did you feel like Festival of the Deadliest should have went where Altars was, or not? Because
No.
they couldn't fit half of the things that they have in the zone in Altars.
It's hard to say, really. I mean, I just think they should have done something that wasn't Altars and put it there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think they should have got rid of altars.
Exactly. And you know what though? Like
I'm sorry.
Or made them alter, like stages, made the props bigger, made it feel like you're entering something.
That was
unique.
having altars, actually altars, not.
I mean, honestly, with Chance's, her, whatever they called it the year before, it was kind of the same thing, but she was up on a stage and it just felt like you were in something different.
Yeah.
There, it was like, oh, here's a street sign almost the size of those opposed, it just,
Yeah.
And that zone last year, I mean, they were so interactive. Like all the people in there, and then obviously you got the show, with Chance, and Chance was interactive with the whole crowd, calling people out.
Yep.
I didn't think about that they can actually talk last year. All the inmates were talking, Chance was talking. In the zone this year, none of them talk, I don't think.
It's grunts. That's about all you get.
Like Pablo can talk. If you do not know Pablo, he's from Ash versus Evil Dead.
He's the best in the zone.
He's the only one that can pretty much talk. And the Butcher can talk, but she probably only says like, one or two things.
Mm-hmm.
But no real interaction with the characters.
Yeah, and the other thing about the Chance zone was it wasn't like you said, the inmates. Like it wasn't just Chance. It was still like an idea that Universal came up with and implemented into a scare zone, like any other scare zone, except Altars. Like Altars, I mean, I know this is like being harsh, but it's like you could hardly even consider it like an idea. They're just like, I don't know what to do for this last zone. We don't have an icon this year, so we can't do that. You know what? Let's just like take characters from the house and stick them in there.
Costumes. Let's just take the ones from some of the popular houses.
It's like hardly even an idea. And I will say, leading up to the announcement, when I started realizing like there's not going to be an icon this year, I was kind of disappointed because being that it was like my first Horror Nights, I kind of would have liked to have an icon.
Yeah, that would have made it, like for me, my first year was HHN 13 and it's the director. So I always go back to that feeling of like the director and the commercials and seeing him for the first time.
Yeah,
so
it's like
I get how that kind of
I feel like
sucks a little bit.
It totally like gives the event much more of an identity. Like I don't really know what the event's identity is. Like I mean, I know what they're trying to make it. Like
Yeah.
based off like merch and everything, it's supposed to be like the Festival of the Deadliest is like how it's supposed to be themed,
Yeah.
sort of, but like it's
Unofficially,
not.
officially, yeah.
But it's not like very. I don't know. You know what I mean. Like it's just it doesn't
Yeah.
have the same identity. It's just a bunch of separate properties placed around. And granted, again, because it's my first year, I don't really have much to compare it to. Like I really enjoy a lot. Like 7 out of the 9 houses, I really enjoy a lot.
Yeah, it's very clear that the houses, and I've seen this mentioned multiple times on Twitter, that the houses this year are the strongest. Like, if not their strongest, like, you know, what they have to offer, but everything else wise, like the zones and just the overall feel is not. It's lacking a little.
hmm And again, like I've been saying, like I don't have anything to compare it to, so I don't really know what like the other feeling would be. But like it's, and then again, like 4 out of the 5 scare zones I really like, but
You say
it's
4
debatable.
okay, because altars.
Yeah, altars.
Altars is
I
Debatable.
like them all for like, yeah, it's
Ooh.
debatable, but I like them all for like different reasons, you know.
Well, because it's also your first time experiencing the purge, where like, you know, like some of us got to already see this zone pretty much like the exact same zone before. So
Yeah.
like where I was really going to be excited for the purge, I find myself walking through it and I'm like, yeah, I kind of already did this. Like there's not too much new here besides like the light up mask, and you know, like they closed down Sting Alley to put that stupid like photo op area, I guess I call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the purge isn't one of my favorites this year. Like I do like it, but my I mean really my thing with the purge is like I just think the movie is like total crap. So it's like I couldn't really get that excited for it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Just not a fan of the purge, and so I couldn't really get that excited for it, if that makes sense.
Oh, for the scare zone announcement?
Yeah. And then it pretty much is exactly what I expected. Like it's cool, like the actors are cool and like the costumes are nice, but like I don't know. It's good. And go ahead.
I was gonna say, when we walked through it and they used to do, you know, they do the truck where they pull the truck in and all that.
Oh yeah, the kidnap. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, when they first did that a few years ago, it just seemed like they built it up maybe through background music or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the actor that was portraying it was better. I don't know, but it just seemed like more of an event. Now adding the dirt bikes definitely kind of, that was the only thing that kind of.
I enjoy the bikes.
Yeah, but otherwise you don't. It just didn't. I don't. Maybe it's because it was just a redo, but again, it something missed the mark there.
Yeah, I think the first time they had some of the I'm forgetting the actual name of the government or the agents or whatever. But the ones that walk with the truck now, they were more aggressive the first time when they were grabbing at people and they were sort of like protecting the truck. This time, it's more so like the dirt bikes do the aggressing and the guys with the chainsaws, and everybody else just kind of stands around the truck. And you're like, okay, so am I in like the purge zone, or am I just standing here feeling like safe? Like,
yeah. I mean, I think you felt the same way I did. It's just not built up, or it's something. I don't know.
So, I guess another scare zone that I'd like to talk about, if we can.
Feel free.
I think we might have a difference of opinion, a couple of us in here, and that is
this
so it's not that. It's not that zone.
It's not that zone.
Invasion.
Invasion, but we should get to that zone at some point.
Totally.
I want to talk about Invasion a little bit.
Please do.
Oh,
because
Gary's calling the shot.
I want to see what Gary said here about the selfies. I don't really disagree. Like there's a lot of selfies going on. However, that's the fault of like the people, right? That's not the fault.
Yeah, I want
of
to
the,
ask the chat that. Anybody in the chat that's watching, if you've been to the event, how do you feel about the sort of new wave of like them promoting like, hey, take selfies with all the monsters, take pictures? Because
I mean,
Connor has never been previous years, and I can attest this because I started doing like sort of, professional. I call it professional, but it's not really. I don't know what I'm doing with the camera, but I call it semi-professional photography at the event since Halloween Horror Nights 21 was when I got my first DSLR. And throughout the years, I noticed there wasn't that many people doing it, like taking pictures of the event too much. There was maybe like 10 to 15 people. And back then, the rule was like, monsters cannot stop for photos. They will get in trouble if they stop. They have to keep moving at all times. And that is drastically different this year. You see it all like throughout all the zones. You can, go on Instagram and type in hashtag HHN27, and I guarantee you're going to see in the top like 4 or 5 photos people posing with like creatures or monsters or aliens.
It kind of depends on the zone in a way. Like, I
see pictures with Sam all the time. I see pictures with the aliens all the time.
Okay, but that's because like Sam isn't like a very fast moving character.
No, the Sam on the end is the scare Sam. Now you might mean the
regular Sam.
Yeah, the regular Sam just likes to like wave at people.
He just kind of slowly walks around. The people in altars, a lot of them like
they don't stop for photos with people usually. Oh, the twins will, but the rest
the twins
of them don't.
And the which one is it? The one
which one?
The one from American Horror Story, the bloody face.
Oh, bloody face.
And the guy with the top hat. You know what I'm talking about? And the dreads.
Oh, the voodoo guy.
Voodoo guy. Yeah.
Voodoo guy. Voodoo guy.
And then in Invasion, the aliens, like the big tall aliens, kind of do the same thing. They're not like super quick moving, but I want to focus on not like the people who take a bunch of selfies. I mean, even me, I took one of those alien selfies because I was like, I don't know what other selfie to take.
You're the one that Gary's talking about.
Well, let me be fair. The alien I took a selfie with was kind of like off, like not right in front of the UFO, so there wasn't like a big line or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm talking about like what Universal did, like not the people taking the selfies, but like the props and the way the zone looks and the characters, I personally think it's really good. I mean, it's not my number one, or I'm not going to say where it is, but it was my number one most anticipated.
So judging by that, we can sort of figure it out. It's not number one. It's not the last place.
Yeah, so it's either 2, 3, or 4. But yeah, I mean, I like the. It's not like particularly scary, but I enjoy the. I don't know. I enjoy like the zone itself, like aside from the selfies.
How do you guys feel about that, Tim and Jason? I mean, how do you feel about Invasion?
I'm really not a fan.
Yeah,
I could get a lot of hatred.
I'm sort of in that boat.
I'm not a fan of this area. I think I expected a totally different thing. Like, don't get me wrong. Some of the alien ship is like awesome. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard they added an alien actually into the middle of the spaceship now.
Oh, that's cool.
But I guess my biggest gripe in this area is actually the scare actors.
Oh.
Well, let me take that back. It's not the scare actors. It's not the scare actors. Let me take that back. I expected when this zone was announced, I'm thinking 1950s. We're thinking retro aliens, like just so bad that it's good. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, over the top.
Yeah, just over the top. Like, yeah, and this is what I was expecting, and this is not what I got. Like, we got something. I'm not really sure what we got.
Yeah, I don't know what those aliens are.
And
It's funny you guys are all saying the aliens. Do you guys even remember the army guy?
Yeah, that's
okay,
like,
this is where I'm going. So let's
Okay.
talk about the army guys. I don't get this at all. They're just running around. Help me. Help me. Oh, please help me. I don't know what they're talking about. The only thing I give props to is there was a guy behind that popped up and Brady was taking pictures. And he's like, really? At this time, you're going to take a picture? I lost it because I thought it was hysterical. Maybe I just don't understand the concept or where they were going with this zone. It's so crowded, and just like you guys say, it's selfies here, selfies there. I don't know. It's lower than what I think is going to be. Well, I know it's going to be lower on my final list, but it's not what I expected. How's that?
Well, I mean, it's obviously not as good as I expected it to be because, simply put, it was my number one most anticipated, and it's not my number one scare zone.
Right.
So I can understand that, but I mean, if you want the concept, I'll tell you the concept. The aliens crash and the military trying to fight them.
Thanks. I get that. I get that concept.
Yeah,
I just feel like the army dudes end just doesn't really go along with it.
What I will say,
I want to hear. I want
I'm
to hear
sorry.
what Chris and Jason think about this because I
Jason,
feel like Chris
you
might
have the
be
floor.
on my end here.
Well, I'm right along with you, Tim. The props are. I really enjoyed looking at the props, and we did get to see where they added the alien inside the ship, and then on top of the car. Again, I feel like the overall music or lighting would have made that area a little more fun or something. Like I don't know. It was like the ship was the main point, and then over on the right where the army, or depending on which way you're coming in, but where the army men were, if you weren't really, I mean, it was just so dark over there. I mean, there were scare actors laying, you just didn't even see them. Again, it was my most anticipated one. It definitely fell. But again, with the crowds and stuff, it kind of takes away from it. And I wasn't a big fan of the aliens themselves.
Agreed. I just expected them to be different. That's all.
Yeah, I had something different in mind too. not all the actors did well. I mean, nothing against them.
Right, and I want to be clear about that. Don't take that the wrong way. It was not really about the scare actors. It was just maybe more of the backstory on the army dudes, and the aliens just don't look like I expected them to look like. That's all.
Yeah.
Just saying. Exactly. Chris, I want to know. Chris, come on. Let's hear it.
Okay. I'll give you a little nugget, just a little piece.
Okay. All right, cool.
I'm I got to save some of it for the review.
I gotcha.
To be honest, I have not spent too much time in the zone, and maybe that's truly, mostly my fault because I feel the zone is in a particular area that you don't really feel like going that way. You know what I mean? Like everything's on the Simpsons side if you want to go to everything. Unless you're just on that side walking through. The zone feels so short. And I knew that, beforehand it was going to just be really, really short.
Right.
I feel like the zone has a lot of interesting things in it, like the radio broadcast, which I haven't sat there and listened to, but it tells a lot of the story. The spaceship, the colors look really, really cool. The big head alien guys, I don't know what they are, like the warrior guys. They look kind of cool. The smaller aliens look kind of cool. Some of their interactions are a bit like Vamp 55. Like they're not scary to me. They're just more like, oh, they're funny most of the time, or they they come up and they improv with you, and you're like, okay, like I don't get am I in a scare zone? What is this? Like one of them came up and he was just staring at the camera and he was just like pointing at it, and I was like, okay, like like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on? Like, what is interesting about the camera? I don't get it. And then some of them just like mock other people, or when they take a selfie with someone. Like I saw one girl, like she like fluffed her hair and then put her hand on the hip, like, you know, like a sassy. And then the alien mimicked what she did, which was funny, but it's also Horror Nights. I expect a scare zone. I expect to be scared. Not to, you know, draw it back to Hollow Screen, but their scare zones are scare zones. They don't have people doing jokes and improving. If it's improv, it's like, hey, you know, it'd be fun to rip out your guts type of improv. You know what I mean? Like stuff to make you feel like, oh, okay, this is creepy.
Right. And
So that's
like,
where I feel like with Invasion, it's cool looking, but it feels like it's just missing the mark a little bit.
For me, like, oh, you go ahead.
Go ahead, Con. No.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm going.
Mars
I was just gonna
Attacks.
say
yes.
Go. Just go.
I'm going to be brief. I don't think like not scary like necessarily instantly means bad. Like especially if like the rest of the event is like fairly scary. Because I mean, Ash vs Evil Dead, not scary in the slightest, but still like a pretty fun house.
Mhm.
You know, I guess like what I'm saying is like the other zones will get you, and well, maybe not altars. Okay.
Well, see, like Van 55 was a comedy zone. Like it was comedy, but
Yes.
you did get some scares in that zone with the MVP running around and some of the other vampires in that zone. They were actually doing some of the scaring.
Mm-hmm.
But I understood that zone. Like I totally got what was going on. I just feel like I don't get what's going on in that zone.
Yeah.
Now, so my question was, do you think if just because it's so short, if Invasion was somewhere else, would it be any better?
If it was on like Hollywood, I would have loved to see the all-out war, like more soldiers, put them with like some barracks and maybe some weapons. Well, maybe that would have been kind of violent, but you know what I mean? Like for you to feel like aliens landed and we're walking through like the war instead of it being like, hey, there's two soldiers on the right. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's not a good place to have a selfie, you know, for them guys to do selfies because it's already so hard to get through there.
The only thing I could say about that is that like pretty much any zone would be better in that spot.
Well, yeah.
Like the only one I think that is completely perfect in its spot is Trick or Treat is perfect where it is because of the trees, so they could string up all the pumpkins, right?
Yeah.
And then the Purge is good where it is too, but like altars would be better on Hollywood, and festivals good on Hollywood.
He's tiptoeing.
And Invasion would be good on Hollywood. I mean, I'm just saying like the zones that where you complain about like they're in a bad location, like they would all be better on Hollywood. Like if you switched Festival and Invasion, then Festival's the bad one.
Yeah, I mean that area is just not good.
Let's talk about Festival.
Okay.
Festival, I think, can work anywhere in that park, and we all know why.
That's what Gary just said.
It would work for me no matter what. I mean, I'm not.
I want a floaty barge, and it still work.
In the middle of the lagoon.
After the first like rough couple nights, because it was so dark in there, like nobody could see anything and what was going on, you know, and obviously, you know, dealing with, you know, the hurricane and their props and everything else trying to get fixed. So I totally understand. But now, totally different zone, correct, guys?
Wow.
I just want to hear Connor talk about this. So.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah.
Well,
boy.
Let's just say that they hired a lot of scare actresses, and they hired a lot of scare actresses.
Is that how we're describing it?
I mean,
a lot of actresses.
look. Aside from that, realistically, I think they have great costumes, and I just think it's a really cool zone overall. I really do. Like, I think the masks are super cool. I think Bone is like super cool.
Oh, Bone Daddy, yeah.
I love the
Bone
stages
Daddy.
they've added, like not just the stripper pole stages, but like like the big longer ones, like in the middle.
Don't you mean dancers?
Yeah.
Yes. Dancers. The dancing poles.
And somebody, it was on one of the podcasts I was listening to, and somebody was talking about that and how they were spoke. I guess the point of them was to help kind of be a distraction in a sense, so that the guys with the mask and everything could sneak up behind, and because that's when you get scared, is when you're not paying attention.
Because the dudes are checking out the dancers.
Well, also because I talked to one of the ASM guys, the assistant guys, who's standing usually on the side watching the actors and making sure they're safety wise. And he was explaining the zone about like how the dancers and just overall like the theme of the zone. Yes, it's called Festival of the Deadliest, but if you take a look at all the like costumes and everything about the zone is very sexualized in ways. Like the dancers are supposed to lure you in, like Jason said, and it sort of has like a light S&M sort of feel to the zone. It's very weird.
Yeah, kind of.
Anybody else get that? Yeah, because like all the like guy actors are either like wearing leather, and some type of like zippers and stuff. It's a concept that is very far out there for Universal, which is shows that they're at least trying to push the boundaries a little bit.
Yeah,
and I dig this zone. And I dig this zone for the music.
The music's good too.
The music is very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the guys in that scare zone too are actually they actually get quite a few people as well.
Oh
who are just walking around.
Yeah. Agreed.
So.
The only knock I think I have about it is they have Bone Daddy, who's sort of like the icon of the event, and you have like
the unofficial official,
and he has his brides. I guess they're like, was it 4 brides, like 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and there's little things that happen in the zone, but you have to like stand around to witness, where Bone Daddy will sometimes walk up to the actors or the dancers, and he will do certain interactions with them. And it's little stuff like that that makes me think like there was supposed to be more or a bigger concept there. Like why is there a stage thing in the middle? You know what I mean? Like, is there supposed to be like a sacrifice or something going on, and they just scrapped it because for whatever reason?
Yeah, I mean, it took them. I mean, it changed a lot while we were down at, what was it, like 2 weeks or something. I don't think they had the middle piece in there when we first got there. The one night, and maybe it was because the hurricane, some damage or something. But
yeah, that's why it took them a while to add more lights and the actual stage prop in the middle, and some of the dancers. Yeah.
And going to your point, I think it just got better as time went. I think. Just how much smoke to put through there, how much, how loud should the music be, and then adding the lighting definitely helped it, after the sunset. Because there for a while it was just super dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. It's definitely improved over time, for sure. And, I mean, I'm sure we haven't seen it in its, like, final form yet, either.
Do you think they're going to do something like big on the final night or something? I think I think if you're skipping Bill and Ted and you want to close out the event in a zone, my money is on I almost called it FOD, Festival of the Deadliest, to close it out in that zone, because I feel like on the final set they're going to do something like Bone Daddy and all the actors are going to do something together.
I mean, that'd be cool.
That's the zone I noticed, like the most people kind of sitting down and watching, kind of people watching for those scares. You know, the people that go to enjoy the overall environment. That was definitely the one I saw the most people, like that, kind of taking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Scott brings up a good question I'd like to ask everybody. How do you feel about Academy of Villains being at a horror event?
I mean, I think it's a nice little like change of pace. It's something different.
I think it fits in with the horror because their whole thing is like villains. It's macabre. It's like darkness is, they have like those themes to their dancing. I mean, overall, yeah, they could probably add more elements. But if you've seen the first show, you saw that they had like fire and they had the this overall like asylum theme. So I feel like the themes that they usually come up with work, very well relating to Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Academy of Villains.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
Oh.
Go on.
With Academy of Villains, we're not going to get Afterlife. We are not going to see that show. And that's a shame because I'm really looking forward to it because I thought last year's performance, the insane asylum and it just worked so well. And I have to imagine that this year's show had to rival with that because they know how good it was last year. And now, if you saw the side one, where they had the side stage, the semi stage has just been there, set up in front of the horror show.
Makeup show, yeah. Stage, yeah.
They gave you that little piece at the beginning, from the music from last year.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, it just seems different, and I know it's kind of hard to do because now you're on a makeshift stage. You can't do the show that you've probably been practicing for God knows how long because you're on a makeshift stage because it's not big enough probably, and whatever effects you had. So now you have the second stage, which if you guys saw the setup for the first stage, looks nothing like this. There were so many more elements on that first stage, the original stage.
Yeah,
that's true.
And the sound is like even twice as loud.
Right. So I have a feeling maybe we get that show next year if they come back. Because honestly, I mean, everybody seems to enjoy it. I just feel like, not that it's bad, because it's not, but it's not what it should have been this year. And obviously, and somebody brought up a good point in here. Somebody said it. Who said it? Seba Vlogs. If Irma never happened, HHN this year would be better. I have to agree with this because Irma affected a lot of props, stages, things, that went into this and was ready to go. But then here comes the hurricane right before this was supposed to start. So
yeah.
I just think, I think if we got Afterlife, I think we'd be a lot happier with that. And don't get me wrong, because I think these guys are awesome. Academy of Villains, and to be able to put in that makeshift show on the makeshift stage, probably within only a couple days, it's awesome.
Yeah. My thing with just the overall Academy of Villains, love them. I enjoy the show. But after the Jack and Chan show, what they did with that, I just feel like, I'd love to see something like that come back. With the whole, I don't know, what was that, 25 they did that?
Yeah.
I know it was a special year and all that. I just really thought that show fit for, Halloween Horror Nights. And then, Academy of Villains is awesome. I just wish we could get 2 shows, bring something in like that, the Jack and Chan show each year along with Academy of Villains.
Well, your wish might come true next year.
I was just going to say, what's going to replace Bill and Ted?
Well, that's actually a good question.
And that's the thing, though. But we need shows that run more than Bill and Ted, because the houses are getting so long, even the express passes are getting so long, and the only way to do
I've
that,
heard plenty of people with the express pass complain this year.
yeah, and I mean, so the way to do that is pull people into, every half hour shows or however long they need to be to take the crowds away from the houses a bit.
And this has been my idea for many years. Why don't they open up horror makeup show and make it not the same show, like the same show, but more like an adult show or something catered to where you're like, oh, I got to see this during Horror Nights because it's sort of an off the rails improv exclusive show. Even though
Right.
I know that theater is not going to hold too many people, it's still going to eat up a little bit more. You know what I mean?
People.
Like every little bit helps, and it would add a third show they can use.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing
So do
is
you think that-
the thing with next year is like we'll get Academy of Villains, right? And let's say like the whole horror makeup thing like doesn't happen, like where would you put another show? Because more than likely, and Siva Vlogs just asked, why are they closing Bill and Ted? The hot rumor is that it's because the Fear Factor Live is being taken out for like a new attraction,
For HP.
for more HP, for Ministry of Magic. That's like the rumor. It's a pretty
Yes.
solid rumor. But even if it's not that, pretty sure Fear Factor Live is a goner and something's going to go there. So it's like, where are they going to put another show?
My guess would have been Terminator, but obviously that's a no go.
That's a no-go.
That's a no go.
That's a no-go.
I don't think
Okay,
there's
but here's
any other.
but on
place.
that though, so do you think they keep the theater though where T2 is, and whatever attraction to bring in? Do you think it's going to be a show?
For Terminator?
No, he means for the replacement. I'm saying.
Yes.
For like the replacement Terminator.
Wait, I've got. Right, because if it's a show, then you have a huge theater, and then do you put Academy in there so they can do what they want at night?
Interesting.
That's a
It's
possibility.
just a question.
Yeah,
I think it will be a show. Personally, that's just my prediction.
I mean, whatever they do, I mean, we all know there's going to be so much construction going on. I mean, even if it hasn't been announced, that it's
Yeah, but
kind of hard to
And that
tell.
won't be ready by the time of next year. So they still have sort of the problem of like, okay, we took Bill and Ted out. So, and Nintendo Land's going to be going on back in the back part. So all
yeah,
of that's
Gary
going to be.
Okay,
messed
so
up.
then do you use both parks? Do you use both parks
God, I hope so.
next year because of that?
I hope so, but I hate that people that come that don't want to do HHN would have to probably, they're losing that.
Yeah, that's the only thing because
3 hours.
Island stays open just a little bit like later
Longer,
to kind of off bat the crowds.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you look at a Google map, there's space. I think it's just logistics.
Yeah, they're running out of space.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, and it's going to be hard to determine what they're going to do next year based on construction.
And even more so in the future. Like once Nintendo Land opens and once Fast and Furious opens and if Ministry of Magic opens, like I don't know what the future holds for Horror Nights. Especially like they only have so many sound stages, and if they're thinking about maybe knocking one of those down to build more, park wise or build a new attraction, it's going to start messing around with Horror Nights in many different ways.
I just think we got to get it out of our minds. It's going to grow and grow and be this bigger and bigger event. I think they're going to cap it off eventually.
If they do 2 parks, and let's say like for the anniversary year, because we're at 2017, so 2020 they do both parks. The price by then, oh my God, I don't even want to think about how much.
Wow.
We got what 9 houses this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 houses, no repository, which was kind of interesting there.
And no 3D house, thank God.
No 3D house.
Thank
So they're
God.
going to do 10 houses and charge maybe double.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
I don't like the sound of that.
Stop.
But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I've been thinking about this for a minute. Like, there's like no houses in Kid Town, are there? Right? This year?
There's no what?
There's no houses
back
in the Kid Town area.
by Barney and all that.
Yeah. There's nothing over there, right?
Well, you mean there's no pathway. The houses
but
are still where the
there's no
houses
pathway,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, there's just no
Yeah.
pathway.
Well, I'm thinking about the Nintendo Land construction.
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of why it goes the pathway it goes right now. For Ash,
Right.
yeah.
But Ash is like, well, I don't know. I have a hard time like visualizing exactly where like it takes you to, because I know Ash, like, the queue starts at ET, which is safe supposedly.
Okay, so
But they were
what previously what previously would have happened was both queue lines would have went to the left. So not where ET goes, to the left. It would have went far back. One would have went to where Barney is, and the other one goes right where Curious George. That's where it would have.
Okay.
So the walk would have been shorter for Ash, but since they started construction and whatnot, they can't obviously have us go through there. So we cut through the ET and then go the longer route to Ash. That's why, it's like a 5-minute walk.
So like what I'm picturing in my head is like based on the construction, like if the construction is what it's supposedly predicted to be, would that only affect what is like one house this year then?
Oh, you meant for next year?
Right. If like let's just assume that next year, let's just assume that everything is in the same exact place, right?
Yeah, I think it'd only be
'Cause-
the Ash house that's back there that would be affected,
'cause-
right?
You and me, Chris, talked about this on your podcast, I think, one time, trying to figure out like what they were gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Does it seem to you at all like they're already thinking about that this year?
Well, they had to because the construction started. I mean, you can see the where some of the construction started, like right past ET. And once they finalize the deal of closing everything back there, except for ET, then they're going to demolish obviously all of that land. And if you go to Scarecrow and the Hive, you can see in that back part that they've already started building these massive sort of storage warehouses where I think they're going to move, and this is just rumor, they're going to start using that sort of as storage to move stuff into there. Therefore, they have more land for Nintendo Land, like where the parade building and all of that sort of like area.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to lose the parade building maybe, but the 2 tents would possibly stay.
Gotcha. I was just curious.
Yeah. And
What
there's,
you thought of
I
that.
mean, there's also like other stuff we haven't considered, like queue line. Like, could they build a haunt and an extra queue line space? Maybe. I don't know what, I mean, look at Shrek, how they built an actual haunted house in there, 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But if Shrek goes, what happens then? It's like going down the rabbit hole.
Right.
Why don't they ever do anything with the amphitheater? That's by
Toon Lagoon? And in Toon
no,
Lagoon?
the music plaza, by the rocket ride or whatever.
I don't know why.
That's
I know,
a 10 mile
because
walk to the
just-
Shining.
Just
Come on
because
now,
it's
bro.
a queue line space.
But
Yeah, they don't.
yeah,
want
no,
to
but
do
it's
anything there.
and you couldn't have pyrotechnics and things because it's covered. But
Well, also, like, people in the queue line would just, sit there and watch, and it would be like one big headache of like people being like, hey, move, move. The line is moving.
so speaking of that, Blue Man Group, I'm looking at the map right now and I'm looking at all these out. The Blue Man Group's leaving, right? Because Disney bought them. or bought
Say what?
rights.
I mean, there's a possibility. I mean, I don't know.
I like to just
Wait. What do you mean the Blue
I
Man
thought-
Group's leaving because of Disney?
Well, Circus Soleil was in Disney Springs is closing. I thought Blue Man Group was moving to that.
I don't
I have
know.
not heard
I haven't
that.
heard any word on that. Disney did buy Blue Man. They did?
I didn't know that.
Maybe I might
Oh,
have my
Circus
wires
Soleil
crossed.
brought Blue Man. Okay.
Oh, Cirque du Soleil bought Blue Man, not Disney.
Which
That's
Circus
right.
Soleil
Circus-
is its own thing. Yeah, it's not
Well,
owned
here-
by Disney.
And Cirque is leaving.
Here's a question: like, La Nuba is leaving Disney, but could that mean that there's going to be a new show, or is it just Cirque is gone?
No, I think.
No, I think Cirque is done.
Oh, okay.
So-
it's officially.
So they're not
done then?
they're not going to like have a brand new show.
Oh, they will. I'm sure. Maybe they'll do like
That's a huge building. They wouldn't.
they'll do Lion
just
King
waste.
on Broadway or something like permanently there. They can
Mm,
do like permanent Disney Broadway shows or something there.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know, but this isn't about Disney, is it?
It could.
Nope.
It could be.
Viewership up.
No, it's not.
But yeah, Blue Man Group is a big building. If that ever went, I'm not sure if they would use that for the park or a separate city walk entertainment show or something. Because
Mhm.
either way, Universal makes money off of it.
Right. I don't know. Time will tell on all that.
Because I
But-
do feel like City Walk is going to be in a rebirthing period within the next like 2 years. We're going to start seeing new stores, new restaurants.
Voodoo.
Really? I mean, but you already seen,
Studios.
but you saw Toothsome's, and then what is it? The NASCAR Cafe was rethemed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was like the 1.0 version, I think. And then now this is going to and usher in the next I guess like 2.0. Because there's a lot of like that stuff where the club area is. I'm not sure if the clubs are still bringing in people or not.
No idea.
And,
Yeah.
Pat O'Brien's is definitely bringing people in.
That one's always
Yeah. The dueling pianos. Spent many a nights in there.
I'm just looking forward to Voodoo. I think that's going to be really dangerous for me leaving the parks. I'm going to
Bring
see him
the
different.
donuts.
dangerous for Voodoo. They're the ones that are going to have like hordes of people who are going to be leaving the event drunk. And,
They're going to do very well. They're going to do very well.
oh yeah, they're going to kill, man.
You want to talk about that? You want to talk about the hordes
I
of drunk
do.
people this year?
Oh, yes, we should.
But I feel like because Chris has been going
It's a
longer
good
than
topic.
all of us, I feel like this is something that just happens every year,
Pretty much, yes.
and maybe
I think it's
maybe
it's
because
gotten
we've-
worse throughout the years. I think just because the crowds to Horror Nights, I think have just sporadically changed throughout the years. Like it's gone from, I think more now it's younger. It's the college crowd,
Mhm.
and obviously they come to enjoy the event. Like really enjoy the event.
you could say
You know,
Chris,
though-
they come to drink.
Yeah,
They
but,
come to get hammered and scream.
but
So
honestly,
much
when
much.
we walk around, I see more people. I mean, I'm older, but I'm not super old, but I see people my age, and I'm just like, I mean, there was one girl, like, she was just
Acting
walking
like-
sideways the whole, yeah, and I don't understand it at all.
Acting like fools.
Yeah, like this one lady, she couldn't walk. Like, she was walking sideways going,
Yeah, we saw it in Blumhouse.
I think it, honestly, they have to train their servers better. I mean, because somebody's over serving that
Here's-
person, or they're bringing stuff in, one or the other. But
Yeah, but here's the issue, though. They go somewhere. It's a one tent. They go somewhere else, and they've never seen them. They're gonna serve them.
Yeah,
I still
my
never figured out
issue
why have they never done like a punch card system or something that say like, okay, you get 5 drinks for the night or something. Like I know why Universal wouldn't do that because that's losing out on money. But it would just
Exactly.
keep you to say like, okay, you show your ID. Okay, here's your whatever. It's tied to your ID. Here's your punch card. You only get a limited number of drinks.
Yeah, I think you hit on it. It's a money factor probably, but
Which is strange though.
Right. Like I don't.
Four Nights this year, they started out saying that there was going to be so much variety in alcohol. Obviously, they had the special drinks. Then they had the frozen drinks that were supposed to be alcohol and non-alcoholic. Then they had the new
Then they had
yellow type shooter things or whatever they were, like hearts or something.
the hearts. Yes. Yeah. It was like
those got
Jello
pulled
shots or something.
opening weekend. And the frozen drinks, you can only get them just non-alcoholic now. So
Yeah.
something happened to where they're like, hey, we got to cut down on this. And there's also no Jello shot girls or anywhere.
Well,
So-
we've heard rumors on why, but we won't get into that.
Okay. Yeah. That'll be off.
Just bad. Yeah, just bad things. But and I'm sure these are things that have happened, in the past. But me personally, and I don't know who was with me that night.
I'm sorry to hear that. Enter a new reality.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that too.
Oh.
Holy cow.
I mean, anywhere you
but
go,
no,
treat.
yeah, anywhere you go after 10 p.m., anywhere you're gonna see drunk people. Like that's just a fact.
Yeah, like what makes me angry is, and you guys know, you guys have run through the houses. You see idiots in front of you trying to touch the scare actors or playing with props or doing this, doing that. So when I come out of a house, when I'm trying to enjoy with a bunch of people, and I get security pulling me out saying that I kicked a scare actor, it really makes me angry because
you were
drunken-
wearing a hat and had a freestyle cup.
right.
Because another
So
person
nobody
do stupidness. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm getting accused of something that somebody else did in the house. I love this event. I'm not stupid. Why would I want to do that? I don't want to get kicked out. First of all, my son's behind me. You think I'm going to try and do something with him there because he's going to yell at me.
Right.
So I have to answer. So I have to answer to him, which I know I'm not going to do anyway. And then to top it off, in front of me is our friend who's pregnant. So if I'm trying to kick somebody, she's feeling it, and B is feeling it behind me. So why would I even do that?
Yeah.
It just blows my mind.
The thing
And
was,
if I was by
like
my-
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
what's
Their
that?
criteria was what was it? It was like they had a hat and a Coke Freestyle cup. I mean, that's like half the people
Yeah, that could
in
be.
house.
Yeah.
That could be that's like a lot of people.
And the way he pulled me out, and he was just like, "Oh, so I heard you got scared in there." I really wanted to turn to him and go, "No, actually, I didn't. That was kind of a shitty run." Okay, so I'm like, "No, I really
Whoa.
didn't."
We're not saying what the house was.
How long did they push it?
No, I'm not going to say.
Push
I'm
the
not going to say
issue?
the house.
How long did they push
But
the
the
issue
issue-
with you?
When I told him, I said, "Why would I do that?" Like, he didn't really push hard, but he was kind of being
Yeah,
a jerk about it.
It didn't last long because we were all
It-
vouching for him. But
Gotcha.
Right, exactly. And my next thing is, if I didn't have all these guys with me, what would have happened if I was just with Brady, or if I was by myself, or if I was just with one other person, or whatever it may have been? Like, would I have been walked the hell out of there?
That's a tricky.
there's a
one.
possibility, dude. There's a
So
possibility.
that kind of worries me. And I get it, and I get they're trying to do their job,
Yeah.
but
It's
you also you can't do that.
And it's
Also-
a tricky version, or it's a tricky situation because the actors have to sort of put a stop to any of the dumbness. So
And I get
it's on them to sort of be accurate. They can't just, and I know it's hard in the house
Right.
because it's dark and the lights and
Sure,
sometimes
I
you
get
get hit and you're like, wait a minute, like which one hit me? But it has to be sort of on both sides, Universal has to take a little more ownership on that, and
Well,
the
they
actors.
also gotta,
So then here's the question: does next year do they actually make this event alcohol free? I say they're never going to make it alcohol free
no.
because that's their bread and butter.
No.
Yeah,
They will
that's what I'm
never
saying.
do that.
No.
it's not worth it wouldn't be worth their time to put the event on. I mean, it wouldn't. They make so much money from alcohol sales.
Yeah.
I could
People
see
might
them-
think they make money from the tickets. No, they make
But when
money
I-
from merch and alcohol.
Yeah, but when you talk like what I was saying about the training of your servers, I think that's the reason, one of the reasons they brought the liquor into Finnegan's and these more seasoned bartenders, because I've seen those bartenders turn people down. Like, hey, you came and tell me your order, get out of here. You know, they don't throw them out of the event, which maybe they should. But I've definitely seen them turn people down. Where if you go for a beer, which I know you can still get drunk on beer, but it slows the process a little bit. I think if they had more seasoned bartenders or something, you know, it might be easier to spot someone that's drunk. I mean, because there's signs. I mean, there's ways of saying, look, you know, maybe come back in an hour. I mean, punch cards might be a nice thing, but again, that's taking money out of the pocket.
Yep.
And TR Gamer brings up a point of Hollywood is a dry event, but
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
you can drink in City Walk. Like there's no limit. Like you can go and get drunk in City Walk and then go to the event. Also,
Well, no.
you can drink in their Simpsons. I think right
There you
this
go,
year.
yeah.
This is the first time I think they're offering that.
Correct.
Um,
But I've heard you have to stay there. You have to drink it. You
mhm.
cannot take it anywhere with you.
And also the crowd aspects are way different between Hollywood and Orlando. Orlando is obviously it's a tourist. It features a lot of tourists coming. It has the college crowd, so it's way different than Hollywood, where Hollywood is more locals, I guess. So their event could be run as far as a dry event in comparison.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy my beer. That's probably one of my favorite things to do is sit down and watch the scares of with the beer. But I don't get to the point where, I'm going to do something stupid.
You're doing things stupid.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, so I wouldn't vote for a dry event, but I would vote maybe they take the hard liquor out, or quit serving shots, or something that's maybe putting these people.
That's
over
what I
the
would
top.
say.
But think of the other thing.
That's-
How much
that's-
of the weed did you smell? I mean,
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, but
Everyone.
I'm not Mr. Anti-pot, but I'm not pro-pot either. And it's like, that's. I mean, you mix alcohol in that. I'm sure that doesn't help.
Which is funny because in the old security measurement, I don't think anybody would have gotten through with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've smelled
it's been bad
pot.
lately. I was gonna say there's been so many times or multiple times now where it's been me, Connor, and Chris, and we're just like, what the hell is going on?
AP night.
Oh yeah,
we walked through Trick or Treat, I think it was, and I was next to you, Tim, and I swear I smelled it out, and I almost looked over to see.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was you, and I was like, but, not that I would have any way of thinking that, but it was just smelled so close to me.
Yeah, it's been so bad this year.
That's what Tim was doing
And you
while he
had-
was waiting for that pumpkin to go off.
Yeah.
I was only there for 45 minutes. I mean,
it
come
would have
on.
made time go
Oh my
faster.
God.
Maybe I'd have had some.
Oh man.
I'm never gonna hear the end of that.
No, you're not. Especially because
Oh.
you barely got the shot.
I
Wait,
know.
missed it the first time.
The first time I walked away to go get footage in Trick or Treat, and as soon as I turned away, it went off. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I mean, you had to know that was gonna happen.
I know. I should have known. I mean, I caught most of it. so I have some footage of it.
Okay, well, at least it's something.
We'll see if it gets edited into a video somewhere.
Does anybody know it's like an employee or something that can tell us how that thing?
No, they all know. Nope. Every single one that I've asked, they're just like, it just goes on his own. So I mean, think about it, Jason. We were there, and it was 8:15, and then we're like, oh, it's gonna go off at 8:30, and it went off at like what 8:37, 8:38. We're like,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think Trick or Treat's really the only scare zone we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Which is let's talk about it a bit. This is a pretty well liked scare zone overall. I can assume that all of us think it's quite good. What would you say?
Nah.
This is number 5.
Chris is number 5.
No, it's a good zone. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It captures some of the spirit of the movie. Some of the characters, like the old man, the
Principal.
Principal. You have the trick-or-treaters. You have Sam. The only thing, and you guys know, I've talked about this before, my only gripe with the zone is the werewolves or the princesses. I feel like they just, the makeup is not quite there. Like they give them like these prosthetics on their face, like to make their like eyebrows bulge out, and they give them fangs or something, and I'm just like, yeah, this is not what I imagined from the movie. I was thinking we were going to see like maybe a werewolf in the zone, or a full-blown werewolf would have been cool, but
that would have been cool.
The character interaction in the zone has been really good from my experience. The one that sticks out to me the most was when we were standing around and that the little one with like the white skull mask looking thing came up and was messing with Trish, following her around. That was good.
God, she kept chasing her. That was so awesome.
Following her around in a circle, and oh, that was great.
Yeah, Trish liked it.
When you say like, no, you don't. Stop it.
She did not enjoy it. She was like, I don't like when they look at me.
Nah, we used to go, when we went back through it, she's like, oh, there's my friend, you know, but then she would like sprint off, you know. But going back to what Chris was saying about the girls or the vampire, if they would have had like maybe a campground or a little kind of like the Principal, if they had something that made them
they're just kind of random area,
because it took me a few runs through there to kind of spot them and remember in that film, because it kind of jumps around a lot. But like if they would have had that there, I think it would have helped cement them in that zone a little bit. But that's probably my only.
And also, you can't give them candy, by the way.
I give them pretend candy, but you said you were giving them like actual candy, right?
Was I saying that?
Yeah.
I won't say which one, but one of them I maybe give some candy to. I
took one of your pieces one night.
Oh, what do you mean? You took it out of my book bag or what?
You gave it to me.
And what did you do with it?
Ate it.
They should just kill you for that. The candy is supposed to go to them, not to you.
Well, you shouldn't have given it to me then.
All right, I'll let Sam know that.
All right.
You're gonna wake up tonight. It's gonna be Sam and Jigsaw just chilling out your room.
That's gonna be a nice evening.
A lollipop.
Just don't get any of those scarecrows. Don't get any of those scarecrows.
No, but you like the scarecrows. You didn't like Saw or and you took Sam's candy.
I took what?
You took Sam's candy. That candy was supposed to go to Sam, and you took it.
No, you gave it to me.
No. Don't put that on me.
I'm putting it on you, man. I'm putting it on you.
Oh.
I think that is.
Can we talk about the the bag guy in that zone, the bag on his head. I love that guy.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, he got me
I
good
thought you said
my
the
first
bad
night.
guy. I'm like, who's the bad guy? I don't get it.
No, not the bad guy. The bag, BAG, the bag over his head. I
Yeah.
love that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's good. He got me the first night I was there. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, from what I heard is
yeah.
that box thing is sort of just resting on the shoulders, I believe. Like if there's a gust of wind, like they would knock them over, basically.
really,
That's what I heard from someone, from one of the people that were bag heads.
huh?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I heard someone vandalized the stole a lollipop or something from.
I took a picture of that. I was so angry.
Yeah, what the heck, dude? If anyone's gonna get attacked by Sam, it's that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's
I mean,
that guy's
just
a goner.
goes- Yeah, and it just goes
Sure.
to the. Yeah, exactly. I sometimes I mean it makes the event so much better when they put those props close to you where you can actually see them and you know kind of get close to them. But I understand why they don't do that. It's because jerks like that.
Yep.
It kind of ruins it for everybody.
True.
So,
So, go ahead. So, heck.
well, if you're gonna, I was gonna ask if you wanted to discuss any houses, but if you're gonna keep it with scare zones, and go ahead.
No, actually, I wanted to ask a question for everybody. What, like, I know we're not going to really get into, like, 1 to 9 houses and that kind of stuff, but what is everybody's, like, how do I word this? Most surprising house?
Mm-hmm.
What would that be for all you guys? Whether the way it looked,
That could
whether
be
the
good
scares
or
whatever.
bad, right?
Yeah, good or bad. Exactly. I was just going to go that.
Well, I mean, I guess I could say Saw, because
Man,
had
it's always going back to Saw.
Him and Brady on the last live stream, they put it very high up on their hype list, or it must
Exactly.
No. You said me?
Yes.
No. I said
No,
Brady and Connor. I mean.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I was like, yeah, no.
we were both pretty hyped for the house just because we both like Saw in general, and yeah, it wasn't very good. But now that I think about it, I'm like, I'm not that surprised. I don't know. And another one that kind of surprised me was I kind of want to say Hive. Like, it's not super high up on my list, but like I said before, my like 1 through 7, I really like all of my 1 through 7. It was like kind of a last minute thing they had to do, right? Because of different property, and it fell through. And this one
that's correct.
This one they had to put together at the last minute, and the concept is very basic. It's just like vampires in a house. Like, it's very a basic concept, but I actually really enjoyed, especially the first run through of it, and the big scare at the end I think is awesome. So I think Hive was kind of a pleasant surprise given the fact that it was a last minute thing they had to throw together. So what about you guys?
What about you, Chris?
I'm gonna say, to piggyback off of Connor real quick, I had Hive number 9 for me, and it surprised me as far as, like, I wasn't expecting very much, but I actually kind of enjoy the house. Blumhouse really surprised me as well. I had it number 4, but it surprised me, and I feel like American Horror Story surprised me as well. I had it number 3 on my most anticipated list, but not that I hate the house or I think it's like just the worst, but it's not quite a number 3 for me. anymore. So it kind of surprised me.
Okay. Jason?
Honestly, I'm going to say The Shining. Overall, I don't know if I guess I was hyped for the house. The movie itself is it's not a very scary movie. It's kind of just a masterpiece of film itself. But as far as the adaptation of it into a house, I was kind of curious what they were going to do, knowing that what I feel like they kind of missed the mark with the Exorcist house the year before. And overall, I think they really did a good job. But the portrayal of Jack, or that's his name, right? The actor, they just look so fake that it ruined the whole house for me, in a sense. So that I thought they would spend more time with that character, maybe in prosthetics, or maybe find someone closer to it. It just felt like it was maybe added the last minute, and I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Even the props, I mean, some of them were spot on, but then others, maybe in the hallway, just felt reused, or I don't know, just didn't capture it for me. So that was mine. All the other
elevator
houses.
scene. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, and if they didn't have to have that protective, screen in front of that would have been just
awesome. The gold room is really good too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like there was certain points of it were spot on. I mean, the bar. I mean,
oh yes, the bar. Shout out to Jeremy.
Yeah,
yep.
I mean,
yes,
those guys killed it. Like, it was just like pockets of greatness. And maybe it was more the hallways and just how they did the fake blood or something. Just it was maybe too lit or something. It just took away from it a little bit. So and all the other houses were super dark. So aesthetically you don't get to see as much. And then I guess I'll shout out Fallen. Grew on me big time. That was my first run was a little weak. Second one was just awesome. So
I think another one you can say is a bit of a surprise is Scarecrow. And I know, Chris, it was your number one anticipated, wasn't it?
It was number 2. Dead Waters.
Number 2. Okay, but even though some of us had it like really high on our anticipation lists and stuff, I don't think anyone expected that.
I agree with that. They knocked it out. They knocked it out of the park with that one.
The only reason why I didn't expect 100% of that, but I kind of thought like, wow, this or Dead Waters is gonna be like, the scary houses, is because they did Tomb of Ancients in that same like tent, so it had that same like, the same feel of it, being that it's very claustrophobic. That
no kidding.
Yeah. So I had an idea with scarecrows and it being the corn maze and it probably reaching what the scare factor of Tombs did, but it surpassed that. So that was really surprising, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, the actors could just blend in so well to the environment. I mean, wearing that like, kind of bag type material or whatever. I mean, they could be standing right in front of you and you couldn't see them until they, that's, I thought was, and then they had the drop doors and stuff. I mean, sorry for any spoilers.
I think one of my
people.
that last room
parts running that. Well, yeah, but running that house and listening to Chris the entire way through. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, me and Gary did our first run of that at the same time, and he was right in front of me, and both of us were just in complete distress.
And props to Connor, like taking it on too, because we warned him.
Yeah. But look, man, I wasn't about to spend like $80 and not do everything. Like that's just
Yeah, man, you did it.
that's just
Yeah.
yep. I did it. I'm gonna be back this season, and I'm gonna be back next year 100%. So
Yeah, boy.
yeah, yep. I got the bug. But
Yeah, boy.
here's one. Let's talk a little bit about what do we think of Dead Waters? Because again, this was one for me. It was on the lower end of my list, anticipation wise, but I know most people had it a lot higher. What do we think of this house? Did it meet your expectations?
100% for me.
Yes and no.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm a yes and no. On the first run through, I think it had that magic feeling where you know, it's your first time seeing everything, so it felt much grander. And then the more times I've gone through it, the more times I'm realizing a little bit of the downfalls of like, wow, this really is short. Or, you know, there's certain stuff like, oh, they advertised the Voodoo Queen house, and really you don't see her too many times in the house. The final room it's okay. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it just feels like, yeah, this is just kind of lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was so hyped for it, but the more times I go through it, the more I'm like, yeah, it's just okay. Like,
Yeah, I like the house a lot. In terms of how it looks, the facade is like mind blowing.
which is what Drew said. If you take away the facade, the house would be just, I guess, not good or just okay. I mean, I don't really
I think he
100%
said
agree
it
with
would
that.
suck. I think he said it would suck.
Yeah, I don't agree to that point, but
Right.
I do feel like the facade is the bigger like wow factor of the house.
It's cool, and there's like a couple scares before you even go in the house too, which is cool. But I actually really like the design and everything. My first run of Dead Waters, I was with Mike, the filmer. He was right behind me, and I got like every scare, of course. So I was jumping all over the freaking place. Second time through, not quite the same case. I didn't get as scared running it the second time. But I still thought that the design was really good. But it's just so short. I feel like it's just over so quick. So that's definitely a little bit of a downfall. But I think the only facade I might like more than Dead Waters or even close really is Fallen. But that's just because it reminds me of Disturbed's album cover, Believe. It literally is like a spitting image. Like it's like a spitting image. It's like all I can see when I see that facade. So.
what do you think, Tim?
I have to agree with Chris. Like that first run, it was kind of more magical, if you will. When you first walk in and you see the facade, and you're just like, wow. Going in it a couple times now, and it's been different because that first time we had that floor that was tilted.
Yes.
And because of the weather lately, they've been making us go around the other way.
Oh, there's another way.
Because I believe it's some kind of like handicap way or somebody
right.
told.
Yeah, they usually have an
So
alternative.
so when it rains out, they don't want us slipping and falling all over the place. So I felt like that took away from some of that going in it. You know, after going through the the floor is all angled, you're just like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then when we went at that second time after it was raining outside, and I was like, what just happened? I was like, where'd the floor go? It's so short. That's like the biggest complaint I have about it, because I like at the end I was like, that's it, it's over. What? You know, somebody brought up a good point in here too. I think it was Enter a New Reality. You see what's her face once, and I think that's it. You only see the Voodoo Queen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you only do see her once.
So yeah, if you're gonna, talk about this house in the Voodoo Queen, you see her once. I don't know. This was one of my most anticipated. I think it was number 2. It could go a little bit lower right now. I think. We'll see what happens. We got a couple more weeks to run this house and see what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. Enter a new reality. Hive has the best facade.
I hope he's kidding.
Of course, come on. I could slap a a poster up on a wooden box too.
I know. Well, it's the same. Like, I have to slightly give them a pass just because of how rushed that had to be. But like, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I wonder if that was Irma as well. Like, did they have something else?
It
planned?
very well could have been.
It could be, but I think it has more to do with the fact that it was going to be an entirely different property.
If anything, because you're going through, I believe you're going through like a rundown old house, right?
Where vampires live now or something
Correct.
like that. Yeah.
They should have just kept the same house since they had Texas Chainsaw last year, and that was a house, a facade.
Mhm.
I wonder if they were like planning on
Could've.
doing that and just kind of roughing it up, making it look kind of like old and decrepit. But maybe Irma happened, or they had to take it down. Maybe
It's possible.
I was the best facade.
He was kidding. That's good.
Of course, he was kidding.
Hey, there's got to be. Think about it this way. There's got to be at least some
Budget cuts, bros. Budget cuts.
There's got to be someone out there that just loves the Hive facade, who thinks it's like all the rage. There's got to be at least one person out there. Think about it. Like, for every house facade scare zone there, it's someone's favorite. Everything is like someone's favorite. Like Saw is someone's favorite house. Someone's favorite house.
But what's the facade of Saw?
I'm not talking about the facade. I'm talking about like the house.
Oh, you meant
That's
the
someone's
house
favorite
itself.
house.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah,
someone's
sure.
favorite.
Well, yeah. I mean, people loved Chance's house last year. I'm sure there had to been someone, even though
Wow.
majority of people disliked it.
Not me. I was not on that list.
What, you liked it? You liked it?
Oh no.
I've only seen like videos and stuff from the Chance house, but let me tell you, it just looks horrific. Not in the good way.
Yeah, if you want to see like a full POV video of that, it's on my channel. Anybody who's watching in the chat, if you want to relive it, you can watch it.
It just. Do you think it would have been any? This is like off topic because it's last year's event, but do you think it would have been better as a not 3D house?
Nope.
No,
It still sucks.
it wouldn't
No,
change
because-
anything.
No, because you know
Story
why?
was
Because I ran that house with and without glasses on.
Well, what if it like didn't have any
It-
3D
it-
effects?
Oh, you meant like if they did like a serious like asylum, like
Yeah,
actual
like no
house.
like weird 3D color
yeah,
stuff.
they could have. Yeah, they could have probably knocked
could've
it
been
out
better.
the park. I imagine it would have
But instead
been
we got
sort of like
fluorescent.
the asylum part of American Horror Story this year, only with Chance and some of the patients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. Seeing something like that.
Yeah, instead of that.
I don't know what we saw, honestly.
Oh my god.
Now, do you think, like, we're talking about the future now? Do you think? I just want opinions.
Mhm.
If we have an icon, do they get a zone and a house, or should it just be one or the other?
I kind of like
And
the
if
idea
so,
of them having both.
And if so, which should it be, zone or house? If you agree that should only be one zone. Okay, so you think they should have both?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think if you're gonna have the event so advertised towards this icon, marketed towards this icon, then they should have a pretty large presence within the park. And I guess if it had to be one, I'd say zone, just because if they're in a house, then you don't really get to see them unless you happen to be walking through the house. But I think it would be good for
fair
them.
enough.
I think it'd be good for them to have both, personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with both as well. The zone should be sort of like the introduction to the icon, and then the house is the actual full-fledged like story of the icon.
Mhm.
I gotcha. All right, cool.
I would go with both, and I think they need to have the scare zone by the house.
That's a
Kind
good
of
point.
Start the
Oh,
story.
see. Okay, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
You start the story going into the house, but definitely a house and a zone. Just because they're. I mean, we're kind of getting low on the as far as what to do next. I mean, even for
Mhm.
IPs.
Sure.
So I think it just makes sense to have a house.
All right, cool.
Tim, what do you think?
I'm kind of torn, and I think maybe because Jason just brought up a good point. So if we're talking about like last year with Chance, I didn't enjoy our house at all, and I just kept saying, I was like, "There's no need for this house." but the zone was awesome. So maybe if we did just like that, if we had the zone in like relative vicinity of the house or leading into the house, I think maybe that's something different.
Yeah,
Granted,
it would make a lot of sense.
I didn't like the house. Yeah, granted, I didn't like the house because it was 3D. It was just bleh to me.
Yeah,
I think if we're gonna spend that much time on an icon, you better make sure you knock it out of the park in the zone and the house. And I feel like they didn't do
I
that.
agree.
Yeah, I
Follow
don't
up.
feel like.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't feel like Chance got the true icon treatment in a sense either, though. I mean, maybe it was just because I didn't get into the icons as much until, I guess, 25 when Jack was around. But when, following the next year, it just didn't seem like, she was on merch and everything, but I don't know. It just advertisement. It didn't seem like they were selling her as much.
Yeah, they didn't do a good job of fleshing out the character, being that they want to capitalize on Harley Quinn and as well as the story from
Yes.
25 and
True.
do sort of like a sequel or
Hmm. So, I guess like a follow-up question to that would be, do you think that HHN 28 will have an icon?
No.
I'm gonna say no.
Hard to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just think it's too big of a mark. I mean, the market, it's not for us. I mean, it is. It's but the billboards and things like that, those are for the people. The people that are for sure not going to go.
Mhm.
And I think this year was sort of their testing ground as far as us coming off of not having an icon for so long. Since 24, because we had an icon for 25, 26. Now, no icon, the merch still sells. Like, they don't need an icon to sell the merch. And, the icon is just more like added work for them to try to come up with a backstory and then making sure this character is, cast throughout the event. And then whether they do a show or a house or a scare zone with this character. So,
Yeah.
But I think you could do it just real quick. I think you could do it two ways. I mean, everybody this year, social media was terrible. HHN to me dropped the ball big time.
Right.
Maybe they were going with the big lead up towards the end, whatever. But somebody that plans it, from Missouri and not Florida, we want to know as much as we can because we want to know how much time we're going to spend there. But I feel like they have the staff to have an icon, make its own website, make its own story, puzzles, however you want to, kind of build it up throughout the season. And, you're going to get a lot of followers that way and keep those fans happy. But then your other stuff, your main page can be your IPs and your, the money, I guess is. I just feel like they're making enough money, they can appease both.
Right. So, Enter a New Reality actually asked a pretty interesting question. He said, if they do another type of thing where they have a zone that in a later year turns into a house, like how Bayou of Blood and Dead Waters, what zone would you like to see turn into a house? Are you
This is
referring to
easy.
like?
I think you mean
Is it
from
like
this
this
year.
year? Just
Yeah,
this
from
year
this year.
specifically? Okay.
This
Here's
is a no-brainer.
I mean-
Purge.
here's a bit of a plot twist.
All
right.
Uh-oh.
What if
Bit of a twist.
Altars of Horror was more like a house? So it's like a house with a bunch of properties. I mean, it'd be better than that zone,
I'm
right?
going to say no.
No.
I'm going to
Hey,
say no.
it would be better than that zone. I mean,
It'd just be filled full of lawyers.
thinking of I'm thinking about the zones this year, and I'm like, I don't know which one I'd want to be a house. Honestly.
Really? I think this
Really?
is a no-brainer.
What do you think then?
I mean, there's
Trick or
two that you
treat.
can pick from. Yeah.
Trick
Well,
or-
actually
dude.
three, I think.
I don't see Trick or Treat as a house.
You wouldn't?
I just
Why
think no. I just think it's so perfect as a zone, and like just like the nature of the movie, you know, like it's not a very. I mean, you could make the same case for The Shining, but it's like it's. I don't know, man. It's just like the whole atmosphere of Trick or Treat is like walking in the streets and trick or treating and stuff. That just works so well as a zone. I don't know. I don't know if I could see it as a house. I mean, I'm sure they could do a
I'd
good
be
job
down
with it,
for a
but
house.
You know how I can easily see it is that you're going to walk in and it's going to be like the comic book. And each like section that you go through is going to be, wait a minute, there is a comic book, right? I'm not imagining that.
I believe so. No, I
Like
think
the
there is.
animations and stuff in the beginning of Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
And I'm saying like
Yeah.
each time you go through, it's sort of like you go through like, I don't know, like this is telling the story of Sam. This is telling the story of the trick-or-treaters. This is, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I can see that being like in a house because you would be able to do like the werewolves scene a little bit better and have
Yes.
more of the trick-or-treaters and maybe like the bus. Like imagining walking into a room and you see the giant bus and
I
all
mean,
the
they-
trick-or-treaters
Yeah.
on there.
I'm like kind of having a hard time picturing it, but I'm not saying they couldn't do it well. You know, like they could. But plot.
Because Connor wants Festival of the Boobies as a house.
Yeah. he wants T2 to just come into a strip club.
Okay,
Just
however-
move on in. Darkened.
but plot twist. But plot twist. Enter a New Reality said any year.
Oh, any year?
any year.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, I would say Krampus, but you guys already got that as a house.
Yeah.
Man, that's a hard one. I'm trying to think.
My thing is, my knowledge doesn't really span much
Yeah.
further back than 26.
I think Worf could have been a good house.
Oh, good.
I think
one.
Survive or Die could have been an alright house.
All Night Die in the zone that they had over in San Francisco. That would have been a great house.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think even if you want to go all the way back to 7, which was based on like the 7 deadly sins, that would have been a good house as well.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
That would-
That could be interesting.
You would have loved one of
Yes,
the
would
one
have.
of the sins in there.
Yeah.
Have they ever done a house with like, your urban legend type?
They were supposed to do one before Transformers.
Wasn't that a movie?
supposedly it was supposed to be like based on like not urban legends, but like based on myths, like like Chupacabra and those type of stuff. But that got scrapped, and then I kind of heard it just ended up being tombs of the ancients. But they'd never done a house fully on like urban legends.
Okay.
Festival of the Deadliest is every guy's favorite.
Well, yeah, of course.
Oh, you're talking about psychotherapy. That's already been into a house. Actually, they had like 3 haunted houses based on psychoscarabie.
Crazy people.
So the crazy people.
No, he's
So-
talking about
That's
psychoscarabie.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So while we're talking about the future, I mean, way too early HHN 2018 speculation. Way too
Wow.
early. Way too early. I mean, this event's still going on, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to think a little bit.
Well,
right?
also the team is already kind of mapping out the next
Right.
year's event, obviously.
Right.
Um,
I personally enjoy like speculating stuff in general, so I say it's never too early to think.
he's going to speculate on opening weekend.
Yeah, I'm like,
Sure
this is
is.
nice, but what about 2019? I mean, I don't really know like what to predict though. I think
There's an easy one. I mean, it kind of came out recently. It made so much. How much money? Like tons and tons of money.
are you talking about it?
Bingo.
But I think it is more likely for 2019 because that's when the second part comes out.
I don't think you get it at all.
Oh,
Ooh.
There's
no it
there's
at
a,
all?
There's a gentleman named Stephen King
hmm
that's going to get in the way of things.
But he also wrote The Shining.
Well, he wrote
Stanley
The Shining, but the movie is
Stanley Kubrick.
Well, what about the new It? Isn't that what company is behind that? Is it Warner Brothers? No.
Yeah, there's a weird
I don't
thing
remember.
with it because the movie he doesn't like the original movie everybody liked or whatever, or the TV movie or whatever it was. I didn't think he liked it or something. I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I don't know that we'll get it, but like it'd be kind of cool. I think I think there's a good chance Michael Myers returns because he has a new movie coming out next year. Wouldn't be surprised. I think be really interesting if they did something with Slender Man because that's going to be a movie next year. I doubt
Yeah,
they will,
that-
but it'd be interesting.
That would have to be probably like a part of a tent urban legend house or something like.
Yeah.
Like
To
I
be
can
honest-
sort of see that.
To be honest, the Slender Man house could be pretty darn scary.
Yeah, just don't make it
Like-
3D.
Yeah, just no 3D.
Chris.
What if they make Slender Man the icon?
Oh my god. Chris, because you've been going so long, I don't really know, so I'm going to ask this before I even say it. Have they ever had a Chucky house?
Yes, we had one in Halloween Horror Nights 19. They did a Chucky house. Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That I'm sure he'll be back to the event at some point.
Yeah, I just don't
anybody
see
seen
him
the new
being
movie?
a house.
That
I haven't.
Cult of Chucky.
I
I
went
have.
straight to Netflix.
Yeah, it's
I
actually
watched
pretty.
it. It's not bad. I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie.
You're
Huh.
a Chucky fan. It's funny.
Yeah.
What I
And I enjoy
What
some
I-
of the things they did in it. So
hmm
what I really want to come back at some point is Freddy, at some point, because he's like one of my favorite horror movie villains ever, if not my favorite, probably my favorite. So I'd like to see some Freddy come back at some point. I mean, again, like maybe not next year, but I'm sure eventually, like Freddy will have to come back. Like he's just too iconic.
Yeah, it's usually like the icons of horror kind of make their rounds. I mean, like
Yeah,
we
like-
had Michael Myers so many times, so I think that's why it's taking a break unless the new movie kind of does, like they want to promote the new movie. We've had Freddy and Jason, so they're going to probably take a break. We had Chainsaw.
Yep.
So their running theme, as far as I've noticed the past couple of years, is they usually have a classic film. So we had Texas, we had The Shining, Michael Myers. So I'm not sure what's going to be that classic house for next year. Could be Hellraiser. I don't
Oh, that'd
know.
be interesting.
Maybe I mean, a lot of people have been always wanting Hellraiser at the event, but they never. We've only had it like once featured at the event, but it wasn't a full-fledged Hellraiser house. I would
Yeah.
love something for like a Tales from the Crypt type of house, but I
That'd
don't
be
think we're
sweet.
gonna get that.
I
know-
have another one that I'd have to ask Chris again though too. So I'll wait.
I've always wanted to see like a George Romero like house like dedicated to the 3 like big zombie house movie properties that he did. I would love to see a John Carpenter house where we get like the best of John Carpenter.
We're forgetting.
Also,
That'd be cool.
Hitchcock.
Hitchcock would be amazing.
Where is
That would be awesome.
like where? And also, is that like a sign? From Scarecrow, the bird scene. Like, is that a sign?
We're missing something big, guys. Remember they're starting a whole dark universe.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
that might be
that's-
in trouble.
Yeah, the filming stopped on the Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, and Mummy did
Really?
horribly,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
so that might
Okay.
not be happening. Might be
Yeah.
dead.
So
I mean,
So
but if it
Chris.
does move forward, they have to incorporate it.
Yes.
I want to know if they've had this license. Have they ever had anything with Pumpkinhead?
No, I don't believe they've never done anything with Pumpkinhead. As far as I remember,
I would like that.
See, I feel like that would be, oh man, that would take either a new like remake, or it would be a part of something like sort of like a Blumhouse Presents sort of type of like compilation house.
Gotcha.
That would be kind of cool to stick, multiple like old like 80s horror films in there. Stuff that doesn't fit the bill to
exactly.
do like its own house.
Yeah.
But that would be awesome. Like maybe Phantasm, Pumpkinhead.
What about
Jeepers.
Scream? Scream? Jeepers Creepers?
Ooh, Creep
Jeepers
Show.
Creepers, that's-
Creep Show as well. Like Creep Show's going
Creep
way back.
show.
Um,
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers, they would never touch that. Like, I mean, not to use those words, but they would never use that property.
What about
due to
Scream?
they tried
They had
that.
Scream.
Yeah, they tried that.
Really?
Yeah, they tried that. That's what our Purge house
Purge.
came. Yeah, because
Oh,
it was originally Scream, and then some stuff happened, and then they had to last minute change it to the Purge.
gotcha.
So
What
I don't
about-
believe we'll ever do, especially with Wes Craven already passing. We won't do a Scream house.
And then what about another one I thought of? This one, if this were to ever exist, would be like my personal nightmare, but The Ring.
Yeah, I don't ever see that
Thank
unless
God.
they've done it before because we've had All Night Dying, which is the director's house, and it was a compilation house featuring. That was the only time we've had Scream at the event, was in
Yeah.
that house. So that's when we had
What was
Hellraiser as well.
What's that franchise where they predict your death or something? Like
Predicted.
kid. Well, they're chasing after death or away from death.
Final
Oh,
Destination?
Final Destination.
Yeah,
Final
those were
Destination. Yeah.
Yeah, those were pretty popular, weren't they? That'd be kind of cool to see in a house, like the different. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a scare house, but it'd be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be kind of cool for like an escape room or something if they ever done that at Horror Nights, like a separate paid escape room type of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Just keep me away. Just keep the ring away. Just keep the ring away.
So you don't
The-
like little girls with black hair,
Dude,
and-
that is precisely it.
Yeah.
Literally, that's it. Like those. I'm like cringing thinking about.
we
Stop it.
gotta get Brady. We gotta get Brady to put on a black wig
No,
and,
Stop.
and a dress
stop,
and have him crawl up.
stop it, stop, dude. I'm like gonna be scared to go to sleep tonight. Like,
God.
So
Like-
she's gonna be in your room. Jigsaw's gonna be in your room, and
Oh my God.
Like those like creepy like girl. It's like the white gown and like the really long black hair. Just it creeps me out so bad. Like you know, The Grudge, man. Like my friend, my best friend. I don't know if I want to call him that now that I'm about to say this, but he used to like in like 9th, 10th grade, like every night. Well, not every night. He would keep me on guard, but he would occasionally like send me a picture of The Grudge, like right around the time I go to bed. I was like, great.
Connor,
So if they ever
Connor
do-
never really
Yeah.
anybody with black hair.
No black hair.
Oh man.
Narrows down a quarter of the population.
I mean, they can have black hair. They just can't. They just can't wear white gowns, and they have to like wash the hair.
Have to watch.
Because none of these girls in the horror movies
I can
wash
see
their hair.
his first date. Do you wash your hair?
Please tell me you don't own a gown and you wash your hair.
Have you ever had long hair?
Could you wear a ponytail like all the time? Oh my god, man. This is not where I thought this stream was going.
Oh, Chris is dying.
Oh my goodness, I need to catch my breath. Yeah.
It just keeps getting better and better.
Oh my gosh, man.
Connor's gonna have nightmares tonight.
Maybe. I'll let you know if I do.
God.
He's gonna go delete all the women with black hair off his
Dude,
Instagram.
Chris, that last gift you just sent me is like freaking me out. Like,
What do you think about some of these newer movies? Like, what do you think? Like, would we ever see like the Babadook?
Oh,
ooh, that's intriguing. A lot of people are big on that one. I haven't seen it, but
I would say like a compilation house. We didn't see. I mean, like, I didn't think we would ever see Trick or Treat or, Krampus, but those kind of came to the event. Babadook, yeah, I could sort of see something like that.
Okay.
I'm dying for us to get The Conjuring, and I know everybody wants that to come to the event, but it seems like every year it keeps getting kind of knocked down or pushed back.
yeah.
Do you think we'll see Insidious back because the new movie
I think
comes out
there's
in January?
I think there's a very good chance that we get like I think I saw this on Twitter somewhere today, and I quite frankly agree with it. Is we get like the Insidious mega house,
That was
like,
me.
That was you?
Yes.
Was it you?
I said it might be like the Uber house, to be like from
Ah.
all 4 chapters of Insidious.
Well, okay. So what do we think about AHS, right? Because
American Horror Story? Yeah.
all right, because they used 3 seasons last year, 3 seasons this year, and is the current season, what is it, the 7th season?
Yeah, but nobody likes
Yes.
that. And
Okay, so next year would be the 8th season. So that's only 2 seasons that they haven't done yet, which means they wouldn't need that big, like as big a space as they currently have. That's just me speculating. I could see like Insidious being the mega house where AHS is, and AHS being where like Blumhouse or Shining is, with the 2 seasons, like this current season and then the next one.
Yeah, I don't know
Maybe.
where they go for AHS since they've
Yeah.
already did 6 seasons and then
but they're
the only
doing
one is
one in,
Cult.
they're
Yeah,
only doing one in Hollywood, right?
they only did Roanoke for this year, so they still have a ways. They can do like Asylum as a full house. They can do
Yeah,
but
Asylum
I'm
and
saying
Coven.
we could do. Orlando could go to 1.
I just
But
don't
it-
think it'll be a mega
But do
house
you go
again.
back and do that?
Yeah, they would have to go back then since they've already done 6 of the seasons.
Right, which I don't know that they do that, which is why it would make sense for them to do the most recent season.
Just do Cult as one house, and then do Hmm. But Cult is very tricky because the way the show is run and the fact that it deals with a lot of political aspects. I'm not sure if they would skip over that or how they're going to do that.
Well, and then there's also whatever next year's season is. It could be like half Cult, half whatever next year
yeah,
is.
You're right. Yeah.
And then that could easily go like where Blumhouse is or where Shining is. And then I think there's a solid chance Insidious is the mega house. It would make a lot of sense to me. The Conjuring would probably traumatize me. That is some creepy stuff, man. That Nun, some creepy stuff.
Oh yeah, the Nun movie is supposed to come out. That's right.
That too. But
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they did a house like on just the Nun.
Yeah, that would be kind of strange.
That would be surprising. So it'd probably be maybe like a Conjuring universe house, you know.
There's a new Predator movie coming out.
That I would love. That would be sick. But I don't know if they would do that.
And The Strangers 2 is supposed to come out next year.
The what?
Which I don't. Strangers?
Strangers?
Do you know The Strangers?
I don't think so.
Oh. Well,
That's
then
fine.
go ahead and watch The Strangers late at night
No.
when the house is when there's no one else in the house.
No, I think I understand the concept of this this I think I understand where this is going based off the title.
Have they ever entered into the realm of video games being houses?
Didn't they do-
Yes.
They did Resident Evil, didn't they?
Yeah,
Like
They did
Silent
a couple
Hill
different
or
ones. They did Silent Hill. They did Resident Evil, and I think those were like the main two that they've touched.
You know what would make a crazy house? Outlast.
Yes,
That would be
that would be nuts.
that would be nuts.
that would be cool.
Outlast, Evil Within is a good
Mhm.
one. From what I've heard.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind seeing The Last of Us.
Oh,
Ah,
wow, that would be like, wow.
that could be
The
something.
crazy clicker people or whatever the hell they're called.
I guess we'll have to
Yeah.
wait for the movie to come
Oh,
out,
man.
then they'll do it.
Yeah. Well, I think they are supposed to be making that as a movie, aren't they?
Last of Us, I don't put it
I thought I
past
had heard.
Sony.
I thought I heard that was going to be in the works.
What do you think of
I could be making that up.
I doubt
Sounds good though.
I'll check
maybe
it.
maybe not next year, but what about like they did Alien vs Predator before, right? What if they did like an Alien house? Do you think that's a possibility in the future?
They got 2 more movies in the pipeline. They
Right,
just-
that's what I'm thinking.
I could see it if the next one does decent.
Yeah. Did Covenant do all right?
It wasn't great. I mean, it did do terrible. It did better, I think, than Prometheus. But it's kind of gravitating to a better movie, I think. So that's one of my favorite franchises. And the last 2 he did, I wasn't a huge fan, but I just feel like it's slowly going to become something.
So
We'll see.
another one, Seba Vlog says, back to video games, is the Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, I hope not.
I don't know though.
I don't know
It's-
too much.
I
on
am
the
not down.
board.
I am not down for that.
I'm not down for that either, man. Dude,
I don't need to see rabbits and foxes and whatever the hell else characters are in there.
yeah, no.
It looks like, and I'm just looking up for that Last of Us movie. So there is a script written, but it seems that this project has gone dark. So I don't know if they're gonna try and revive this. But-
Hmm.
That means
That's a
they'll
shame, too, 'cause I
probably
think this
sit
would be an
around
amazing
for a little
movie.
bit.
yeah.
There is a Purge 4 coming.
Oh, God.
Is there?
There's a Grudge remake as well. There's
No.
there's a Pumpkinhead remake in the works. So
Ooh,
maybe
yes.
Pumpkinhead.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm down.
It's time to bring it.
Pumpkinhead would be anything that's like really like Halloween-y. Like, I mean, Pumpkinhead's
I
not
don't
like
think
the
we're.
like.
Go ahead.
I mean, he's not like the most Halloween-y, but he's like super iconic and stuff. And
Who? Pumpkinhead?
yeah, I mean,
That's
if
like
I'm thinking
I
of the
think that's
same
like a
Pumpkinhead.
cult classic, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, maybe it's just because I happen to know about him for so long. But like, I've always thought he was kind of an iconic looking
I
character.
think you're always going to have like a Michael Myers or a Jason or a. I don't think we're ever going to get too far away from them just because of the marketing aspect of it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Michael Myers has a good shot at next year because of that new movie.
Damn it!
Even though he was just there.
I want the killer clowns from outer space.
Oh,
That would be like, that would probably be if Killer Clowns from Outer Space gets announced in any way, which I know will probably never happen, but if it does, I will be so happy that I don't even know what I would do with myself.
Oh, and we
Like-
haven't mentioned like one of the bigger ones that everybody's been talking about, and especially with it coming out in a couple of weeks. What about a Stranger Things house after this season?
I would freaking do unspeakable things for that.
Wow. What?
Even they a girl with black hair, long hair, and a white gown.
Well, maybe not that. No Grudge. Give us Stranger Things.
You've heard it here, folks. Connor would do unspeakable
Wow.
things.
Is Netflix and Universal, are they kind of tied together with anything?
Not that I've heard of.
Not that,
Netflix
nothing
is
I
its
can
own
think of.
entity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I knew Netflix had a kind of a deal with the other theme park, but then that was pulled. I mean, that's supposed to go to the wayside in a couple of years.
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm enjoying Netflix these days. Let me tell you. I just watched the Babysitter.
No way. I just watched it before the live stream.
So did I, dude.
Dude, I was going to recommend everybody watch that.
Dude, the Netflix
I
originals are
loved
freaking good. They're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the TV shows I found on there are so good.
Oh
I
yeah.
hate when I find a good TV show, but I forget to look when, like, if it was renewed or not. And I get into it, and it's like only 1 or 2 seasons, and it was canceled. And I'm like damn it.
Damn it.
You know?
No wrap up. No end to the story.
Yeah, but anybody
Another-
that hasn't watched it, go watch The Babysitter on Netflix.
Yeah, I will be probably doing a review on that at some point
Sweet.
in the next week or so.
Is
All
that
I have
new?
to say is
Yeah, we can't say too
Bella
much,
Thorne.
so I have to do like a review and then a spoil talk episode on that one.
So, Enter New Reality also mentioned a couple other games. Dead Space and Amnesia.
Ooh, dang!
Dead Space would make an awesome house.
Dead Space would be
that's supposed to be
downright.
cool. I don't think I
Right.
know Amnesia.
Amnesia is kind of the game that like blew up PewDiePie. Sort of.
Hmm.
That and like Happy
Oh,
Wheels.
okay.
I haven't seen a ton of stuff from Amnesia, but from what I know, it could make a decent house. But I think Dead Space would be freaking amazing.
Yeah, Dead Space. They haven't really done like a great space house, like a great aliens house. Everybody wants like for them to do aliens, like just
Yeah.
alien, or is
The
it alien
original.
or aliens?
Aliens. The
Okay,
original.
alien, yeah.
I mean, both of
Dead
them are
Space.
great.
The Fear franchise, video game wise.
Fear. Oh,
Left 4
Fear.
Dead.
Okay, Fear. Yeah, that would have your little creepy girl in it.
Yeah, but like, I'm not saying I necessarily would prefer it, but like, I'm just saying it's a possibility. Left 4 Dead, maybe. Could be like a comedy house, like Ash. I don't know, but I like the idea of Dead Space.
I feel like they've
I want crap.
after Resident Evil went bad for them, that I swore that I read it somewhere that they were like, yeah, we're not going to do video games again. Like,
Really?
yeah, because they had Silent Hill, which was okay in my opinion. I don't think a lot of people liked it. And then they had Resident Evil, and that got like a lot of bad reviews. So I felt like they're just like, yeah, we got to step away from video games. Like, it doesn't work as a house.
What about
At least
Until
for
Dawn?
now. Like maybe they've had enough time to adjust, things and work it out better. Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. Until Dawn.
Hmm.
You ever hear that game?
Yeah.
Feel that? The creatures in that are pretty freaking cool. I don't know. I would like to see a video game house at some point. It'd be really cool.
Agreed. Anybody see Happy Death Day yet?
Haven't seen it yet.
Nope. I've not seen it yet,
Yeah,
but
I
I've
was just
heard
curious.
I've heard some stuff about it.
Good, bad,
I've
indifferent?
heard it's okay. It's decent. It's not
Okay.
what you might think from the trailer. Like it's a little bit more comedic. So if that's kind of like what you like, then check it out.
Yeah.
I will at some point. I was just curious if anybody saw it. No, Seba Vlog saw it today. So how was it? Type away.
The Ouija. I'm just looking through movies right now. Old horror movies.
The Ouija, Wish Upon. They could do all these teenager horror movies.
Wasn't Ouija another one that like was supposed to be part of this year's event,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
but then didn't happen or something?
Is that Blumhouse or no? Is Ouija Blumhouse?
It is Blumhouse.
Oh, it is Ouija and Ouija 2.
Pretty sure it is
So-
Blumhouse, yeah.
I believe so.
What?
Check Wikipedia. It is.
Well,
Ah,
what's that?
Yes.
That vampire movie with Quentin Tarantino.
oh, Dust Till Dawn.
Yeah, that'd be kind of a.
Didn't they have that as a house?
Yeah,
Did they?
That's what I thought.
yeah, they did back in 24. I want to say.
Have they done Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses?
No, they've never done. Rob
Or what's that? Okay.
Zombie.
What's the other one? House of a Thousand Corpses and
Devil's Rejects.
Devil's
Devil's
Rejects.
Rejects.
The
I mean,
only
technically, you could put that house. You could put that house together, couldn't you?
yeah, he worked with Hollywood.
Right.
He didn't work with Orlando, but he did it in Hollywood. They had, I think, House of a Thousand.
Oh, okay.
Corpses. Yeah.
I think that'd
would
be cool
love
if they
to
brought
see
that here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love to see that.
Oh,
Blumhouse, this is this is like slightly off topic, but Blumhouse is really amazing. Like when you look at their
Track record.
budget,
Yeah.
their budget
yeah.
and their box office, holy crap.
Yeah, Jason Blum has mastered the art of doing a movie for like less than 4 or 5 million and then turning it to, like a 60, 70 million dollar movie. Yeah.
Sounds like Illumination, except their movies aren't crap.
Well, I don't know about that. There's a bunch of Blumhouse crap out there.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of Blumhouse movies that are quite good.
That's true. I mean, look at
But
the Purge.
there's not
like-
one good Illumination movie.
Connor hates the movie so
Wow.
They're
Connor
shameless,
Connor
disgusting.
hates the Minions. Connor hates he hates
Absolutely.
what's the New York the Pets.
Oh, Secret Life of Pets. Oof. Oh, that's horrible. Oof. Sing. Oh,
there's a 2-year-old in the other room over here that would probably have harsh words for you.
Ooh.
well, I'm gonna have to show her I hate. I'm gonna have to show her I hate everything's video about Illumination so she can be awakened. Siba vlogs. Shrek isn't Illumination. Shrek is DreamWorks. Shrek is cool.
See, yeah, Connor likes DreamWorks.
DreamWorks, I'm down with. Yeah.
He loves
But
Shrek.
So you're saying you
I know
just
you
want
do.
You want a haunted house with The Grudge, The Ring, and
No.
Minions and pets.
Oh dear God.
Oh,
Minions.
dude, that would be so funny seeing a minion run across there. Connor.
Listen, I just want to go ahead and say this is Illumination's current lineup of movies, all right? Despicable Me, Hop, Dr. Seuss's The Lorax, which is not their story, Despicable Me 2, Minions, The Secret Life of Pets, Sing, Despicable Me 3, and I bet you can guess their upcoming films. The Secret Life of Pets 2,
5, Secret Life
Minions
of Pets
2,
2,
Sing
Minions
2.
3.
Disgusting.
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 Oh,
Oh God. Yeah, I'm
Well-
thinking we should get Rob Zombie. I mean, I forget. There's what Lords of Salem too.
Mm-hmm. And
I mean, he did Halloween.
and 31 as well.
but, 31. That's right. I forgot about
Yeah.
that one.
I just don't think they'll work with him only because
They won't work with him,
How
or he won't work
extreme?
with them.
I think it's well, yeah, I think it's that way too because he's pretty much like done it on his own. Like after he worked with Hollywood, and then he was like, "Look,
Yeah.
I could just do this on my own and do like a Rob Zombie concert and the haunted house itself." So he's done that
Yeah.
a few years. So I feel like
if we
unless
get-
the price is right, you know.
If we get to see a free Rob Zombie concert with our HHN ticket, I'd be 100% down.
No, you would never see that.
I've seen Rob Zombie twice.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't see him at Universal, like for a concert.
But what if he did? What if they
I
did
can guarantee
live
that
what if they
will
did live
never-
music?
Never ever happen.
What if they did live music? In some regard.
You will never see it happen.
But what if this is all
Yeah,
this
my
is all
what
speculation.
ifs is for them to do Slipknot and have them perform every weekend, and then also
I
have
mean-
a Slipknot house. But that will never ever
A slip-
happen. At the
What if they had a Slipknot house?
It will never happen. The only way that would happen is it would be Hollywood only.
Really, you think?
Yeah,
I mean, if they ever did a Slipknot house again, I would probably not even be able to control myself.
we
with
did.
how happy
We
I'd be.
did Alice Cooper, and that did not work out. So they decided, just like the video games, for now on, we will never do a music-based house again.
But Slipknot.
I know.
Slipknot.
I mean, there's lots of bands they can do or artists. I mean, a Marilyn Manson house would be just probably
That would be something.
just disgusting and like in a good way, but they would never do that.
Yeah.
Right. Marilyn Manson's a pretty controversial guy.
They can do Avenged Sevenfold house. I don't think they would
Please.
ever. He said,
Please. You know, I'm wearing an Avenged Sevenfold shirt right now.
"Oh, well, I thought you were saying please, like don't even."
Oh no, I would literally I would just lose it. Walking through the house
Would
here
you-
in Avenged Sevenfold.
Would you do unspeakable things for it?
Maybe. This is a weird stream. This is very weird. Don't know how it got to this point.
You and your unspeakable things for Stranger Things.
That's right. That's how it started.
It's true. I mean, I started this whole thing, but like this whole unspeakable things for houses.
Are you on the hype about Stranger Things, Chris, or no? Oh, this sounds like I just opened up a can of worms.
Yeah, this is gonna be bad.
It's not going to be bad. I'm looking forward to the second season more so than the first season. I wasn't really too much of a fan of Stranger Things, but I get it. I get, the lore. I get like the fandom of it. It's just wasn't my cup of tea. But the second season has some promise. I like that it's going to be more, messed up things and scary stuff, and
I'll probably watch it all in one day.
Yeah.
maybe.
Binge it.
That's what I did with the first season.
Maybe.
Brady was like, "You should watch this show." I'm like, "I'll give it a look." And then I watched the first episode, and I sat there for 5 hours and watched the whole thing.
Gee. Wow.
I think Brady has watched that like at least a good 5-6 times already. At least.
Really?
Like all of the, you mean the season?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, the season. Yeah, season 1. Like he will watch that and watch it. I mean, it was good. I love it. I'm excited for season 2.
I've only watched it the one time.
Yeah,
I can say I've probably watched. I think I've watched it twice fully through, maybe 3 times.
Mhm.
Just because.
My thing is like whenever I finish a show, I just like move on to the next one like right away if I can find a good one.
Too many shows to binge out there, man.
Exactly.
Especially
Exactly.
on Netflix.
Too many. Oh, Netflix. It's fantastic.
Their
Anybody watch
original
Oz-
show, their original shows are really good.
Anybody watch Ozark?
I haven't, but I want to check into that.
Ozark
I started.
Ozark is so good. So good.
You guys should watch Big Mouth.
I need to watch that.
That was hilarious, dude. It's literally
Oh my
like
God.
it's like an animated comedy about kids going through puberty. It's hilarious. It's so funny. It's so funny. Yep.
I feel like
Yeah,
there's
I'm a
new
fan of-
Netflix
Yeah.
show. There's
I'm a
like a
fan
new
of the
one
Netflix
every
originals.
single like 2 months, 3 months. There's a new show on there.
I feel like there's one every week, every 2 weeks.
Dude, honestly, I feel like there's a new one every day. Every time I turn on Netflix, I'm like, oh, that's new. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think that they're moving towards a direction where eventually it's going to be like all original content on Netflix. At some point in like 5-6
Well,
years, it'll be
Yeah,
like
they've
all
already
original.
stated that some of the movies they're going to start taking off.
Yeah, like they
Yep.
take stuff off every month, but like they still add stuff. I'm just saying, I
And
think
then-
like eventually it's just going to be all original.
And then up my price of my subscription.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll probably tier the subscription to be like, $10 a month for original, or if you want the whole, what you
Yeah.
have today, it'll be 20, or you know what I mean. Like they'll probably tier it.
Yep.
Hmm.
It's gotten better though. Netflix has gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm a fan.
Amazon Prime is worthless. I've got it, and that's not
Yeah,
near as good.
yeah. Netflix is doing the right thing, especially with that newly announced streaming thing, whatever that is, where like Disney and Sony and I can't remember who else, but they're all like,
Oh, Fox.
yeah, they're all like kind of joining
Doing all their own
forces
services.
for their own big streaming thingy. So I think if Netflix wants to keep competing, they're gonna have to keep putting out these really good original shows and movies.
So far, so good.
Yeah, so far.
And that is it for this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, we kept you entertained. To the right of me is Connor. Tell them where they can find all your stuff at.
Well, my YouTube is Connor White's in the description of this, and Twitter ConnorW96.
And up next is Jason. You don't have to tell them whatever you want.
Just my Twitter is Bullock347. I don't have YouTube, so not yet.
Coming
Yeah,
soon.
Yet.
it's in the works.
Coming soon.
And Mr. Froggy Frog.
Froggy Frog.
Vlogging frog now.
Froggy Frog.
I am part of Around Orlando Vlogs with Brady. You can Around Orlando Vlogs on YouTube, Around Orlando Vlogs on Twitter, but you can catch me at FloggingFrog23, and you can catch Brady at X That Pop Punk Kid. No X on the end, I believe, because I think he yells all that all the time. So
And as well as you and Connor are a part of something else, right?
Brovision, we're hoping to bring this back real soon. We're
Yes.
trying. We're
Yes.
working on this.
And who's the missing
So-
member that we didn't have in the chat tonight?
Brady and
Nope.
G Dog.
There's one more. Yeah, the G Dog.
Well, Gary
Oh,
was in
Zach.
the chat.
Yeah.
We missed Zach
And
tonight.
Zach. Yeah, Zach. We don't have
Mm.
Zach. So check out
No
Zach on YouTube at Zach Attack. His link to his page will be down in the description box for this live stream. Check out Zach Attack. And also check out That Florida Guy as well.
Of course. But you guys are already watching Gary, right?
Pretty much, I think everybody is already watching him.
Gotta.
All you guys.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. All right. Until the next live stream, hopefully you guys enjoy it. And we are heading out.
Bye.
Connor has a lot of people to entertain, like his
I
little,
do.
the Grudge Girl and the Rain Girl. Hope you
Hey,
sleep.
Derek's having mic problems again.
Dude, I might have a
I think
nightmare.
the girl showed up here.
Yeah, she was the one messing with the mic.
Oh my gosh. On that note,
On that
Well, thanks
note,
for having me.
bye.
Yep. bye.
Bye.
See you guys.